Peace, peace, peace. It's Aboriginal power, Black Aboriginal power. Come on in, family. Come on in. Yeah, man. So wait on everybody to come on in. Yeah, family. So yeah, man. Let's get into it. We got a few things we gonna be talking about. I know y'all seen the title, Saneter in the House of Consciousness. Can't make a video without talking about the Aboriginals. So we all know what their plan is, or what their plan is not to do. Their plan is not to let the information out. And I was playing some music. I don't know if anybody could hear it. If y'all could hear the music, hit one in the chat. If y'all could hear the music. Uh, so if not, if y'all could hear the music that I was playing just a second ago, please hit one. I'm not for sure. My mic is acting up. So Okay, so you couldn't hear the music. Fair enough. But yeah, man, like I said, the main topic for today is we all know who we are as a people. We are powerful people. So we just got to keep our work up. You know what I'm saying? We know what we're doing. Everything we do is hitting in these people's souls, is resonating in these people's spirit. They can't deny it, nor can they rebuttal it and disprove it because it's the truth. It's undeniable who we are. We are incontinent people of America. We are the American Aborigine, and it's nothing they can do. We are who we are. We are some of the most powerful people. When we put our heads together, it's nothing that we can do. We created agriculture in the middle of the desert. You know what I mean? And you're right. We all have an identity crisis right now in our land because look at what they done to our people. They have raped and pillaged and genocide. They have stripped us of our name, our culture, our folk ways, and our mores. There's no other people in America that have laws put against. There's never been a law in America where Africans couldn't claim to be African, but it was laws for where Indians couldn't claim to be Indian. And that's something that we should have to get into more, maybe on another topic, maybe on another note. But it's absolutely true. And it's undeniable that we are incontinent people of America. So what I'm saying is y'all got to do the work. Y'all got to do the due diligence of what it is to put your people back in order. Put everything back in order. Order must be restored. And if we're not restoring order, then we only contribute into the to the corruption. So that's something that we got to work on it for ourselves. We can't keep following to this corruption. That's not who we are. We're not a corrupt people, even though we have been corrupted. So let's just keep doing the due diligence of the work. I'm trying to get my mic going because I got a couple videos I want to screen share. But if y'all guys can't hear in the chat what I'm playing, then it's obsolete. Totally obsolete. So give me just a second and I'll have it together. So, but yeah, man, we just gotta build, man. Make sure we're doing the right thing. Hold on just a second. Sorry, family. Like I said, look, technical difficulties. But yeah, man, we just gonna keep it working. We just gonna keep it riding. Keep putting out the information, the truth, as in what we know it in today. So, like I said, we are powerful people. There's nothing that can break our spirit. There's nothing that can shatter our pride. So we just gotta keep it to what we know we gotta keep it at. You know what I mean? Like it's undeniable of who we are. Like who can deny our presence? Who can deny that we had started irrigation? You know. especially when you see the metropolises and everything that we're doing in America. Everything that America creates and pushes out for a type of fiat or some type of revenue or some type of economic pathways is usually stuff that's generally directed at our people because we are the biggest consumers. But only and just to take it a step farther, the things that they are creating is things that we already created. We just stole it and then try to give it back to us in a rejuvenated form. So, we gotta understand that too as a people, you know. There's nothing more else that we can do besides keep taking pride in the things that our ancestors have manifested and created. You know, it ain't really too much else to talk about, especially when we manifest in everything that we produce. Everything we produce, we manifested. It came from a thought, and then it was physically manifested with our hands. Everything. So if we ain't understanding that and what it means to be on Tanchan, to take pride in everything that you do, you know, that should be something that we're gonna have to start getting into too. Because I don't think we take pride in enough things. We definitely don't take pride in enough things, as I should say. Because I don't think we know who we are. I don't think we know who we are for real. So we need to start getting shit together. But we are taunting people. Hold on just a second, y'all. Yeah, like I said, we are taunting people. So I'm gonna try to get into this video that I'm screen share and let's see if it'll work. Like I said, my microphone ain't been working. But let's see what we can do. Yeah, I don't think my microphone is working at this particular moment, so I'm just gonna keep it rocking because I don't know what's going on with it. So we're just gonna keep it going, and hopefully we just be able to keep dropping the truth on our people for what it really is. You know what I mean? Not for what they think it is. Yeah. So let me switch this mic out and see if I can get the video to be played. Here we go, y'all. Let's see if it works.
Look. I know they scared of my power. I know they scared of my power. We in the juice. Like who them niggas is a problem? Look at me, huh? Look at me, huh? You ready to kill me? You think that's the only way you put an end to me, huh? Nah, silly. GCA, he got the guys with him. GCA, he got the squad with him. And the message gonna live when our bodies finish. Like, oh man, y'all got a problem on y'all hands. What is the revolution? We at war, so my brothers ready. We all in. They like, never let the niggas know that we trying to keep them in the hole, keep them low. Never tell them niggas kings and the queens and the gods and the thrones. That's a no-no, cause that's gonna make them feel strong. And we ain't ready for the power that the niggas got together. Like, nah, really nah. I would say you never saw it coming, but I know you snakes have seen it coming. They did something like who that waking niggas up. Y'all know far kind up to some, gotta love them, yeah, that's the chief. We the soldiers in the streets, so get acquainted with the team. You all in your feelings, you demons, I know it, cause these the movements you don't like to see. That y'all scared of my power, and you hate that, you don't like that, like the hell with my power. And that top spot that you sitting in, yeah, we know that's ours. So we on that, yeah, we want that, yeah, that throne, that's ours. Oh, the power that we sitting on, our power we been sleeping on. You knew we had it all along.
Smite
now
West.
we know. So now it's
Man, I could be knocking with the chopper. I could. Omega Evers know the king. Give me if I die today, call the doctor. Martin Luther, this the revolution. The apocalypse was the doctrine. You probably never hear my words. Most likely conspire just to pop me. The power I know that it's God like. Oh, what a good, yeah, that's God right. D to the evil who y'all like. Pretty brother, is it ready for us? Baltimore like the Canaan North. The root of ignorant is ignored. Who could justify what we ride for? The same land that we dying for. Forget the news, use the eyes more. You the taxidermist, we the animals. We seen it coming, I ain't panic though. Black with time to your cantaloupe. Are you the lion or are you the antelope? I know it's there, I can smell it. What the cops said, now you're yelling. Ain't no guns or drugs in the car, brother. Trying to make it home by 11. I ain't even lying to you. You a rap star, what's a fine to you? Take your chains, what's a shine to you? If I lock you up, what's your mind to you? Everything serving is black skin, let me ask, what's my mind to you? Cause I ain't hurting nobody. Behind the badge, y'all hiding. I know. And I know
that y'all scared of my power. And you hate that, you don't like that, like the hell with my power. And that top spot that you sitting in, yeah, we know that's ours. So we on that, yeah, we want that, yeah, that throne, that's ours. Oh, the power that we sitting on, our power we been sleeping on. And knew we had it all along, but now we know. So now we know. I know y'all plotting on us, know y'all trying to get us social engineering. Keep us divided and keep us distracted, cause y'all know together we seeking vengeance. Who that's that talk when y'all sit and listen, y'all gon' get the trip, get the crimson. Y'all used to them pussy for niggas, but they ain't no pussy in us. That's for women. We the men they try and break down, make us scared of them, knock our faith down. Make our women disrespect us, cause she know if they can break us, they can break her down. But now this ain't the type of generation, this that generation that's gonna get it done. We was born for this day and age, silly. We the same children that's gonna have it running. There's something about us, I know you notice. Master can't stop us, he can't control us. They say that we rebels and problem children, cause we just won't listen to Uncle Ruckus. Miss me with that shit, we train to go like a militia. We on a mission, moving around if you not with it. This business ain't got no hard feelings, you know. I just ain't got no time for pussy cats scared of my vision and think I'm wild. Fearlessness look like insanity to a coward. Yeah, my teacher, he told me about you. I'm so ready for this venture. I signed up for this, read the description. They say, you know, you probably die, right? I said, put me on the list. I know that y'all scared of my power, and you hate that, you don't like that, like the hell with my power. And that top spot that you sitting in, yeah, we know that's ours. So we on that, yeah, we want that, yeah, that throne, that's ours. Oh, the power that we sitting on, our power we been sleeping on. You knew we had it all along, but now we know, so now it's on.
Yeah, y'all. So I got another video right here about the show. So, let's wake up, y'all.
And now, to see my country in the condition it in, it hurts me. It hurts me. I'm an American. I'm not from Africa. I'm an American.
What do you think, Morgan? Is this political correctness gone too far?
Yeah.
It's my country.
You'll just never understand, will you? Understand what, baby? That my place is here, with my people. You don't have to live in the slums to care, Melanie. You don't have to try to be something you're not. Oh, God, I can't stand this. Trying to be something I'm not? Trying to be proud of my African heritage? That's being something I'm not, then fine. I'd rather be dead than be like you. Stuck-up nigger who's ashamed of being black. My grandmother was a full-blooded Iroquois. My grandfather was a black from a long line who lived in Connecticut since the establishment of the colony. My father was a Bajan who came to this country a cabin boy, Virgin Marina. I know all of that, Mama.
Peace, peace. For the app.
Yep. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man?
Screen sharing this little video. Screen sharing this little video for the people.
Oh, you on live?
Yeah.
Black isn't beautiful. It isn't ugly. It isn't kinky hair. It isn't straight hair. Black.
Saneter TV is here for you. Black News 102, always bring the truth. And if you can't find yourself and can't see the light, TV, I'll help you win the fight. Black News 102, we here for you. Black News 102, we here for you. To bring the truth, to bring the truth. We need that brotherly love.
The blood of his people. That black isn't beautiful. It isn't ugly. It isn't kinky hair. It isn't straight hair. Black is just black. Oh, my heart was changed your name. I gave you my grandmother's name, a woman who bore 9 children and educated them all. Who held off 6 white men with a shotgun when they tried to drag one of her sons off to jail for not knowing his place. And you had to reach an African dictionary. Find a name that would make you proud. When I brought my babies home from the hospital, I swore, whatever gods would listen, that I would use everything I had or could get so that my children would be prepared to meet this world on its own terms, so that no one could make them ashamed of what they were.
I'm saying my people, my folks, they in penitentiaries for bank robberies and killing cops, and you know what I'm saying? That's my family tree. It ain't no stretch for me to be talking the shit that I be talking. And they didn't do it screaming, you know, let's go move the white. They were screaming African liberation. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about straight motherfucking G's. But now they in jail now, you know, and then nobody gave a fuck. And it's motherfuckers out here with beads and all that drama that they be wearing, and my is in the pen over that shit. So I takes that shit like, fuck it. I'm not that type of nigga that be like, Aramba, you know, I live right here, and it's hard, right motherfucking here. I'll help y'all as soon as I get there. But while I'm right here, I'm speaking the language that we speak. I'm dressing in the clothes that we dress in, and I'm fighting the battle that we got to fight. You know what I'm saying?
I do have something funny to ask you. African American, or are you just American?
You're so funny.
I know,
You're
so
funny.
So bad.
I am 100% American Negro. So,
Okay.
yeah. I'm tired of being labeled. I'm an American. I'm not an African American. I'm an American.
What did you just say? Stop the tape right now. Okay.
I will say this.
What?
I mean, I don't know where my roots go to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how far back they go. I can't go on, you know, I don't know how far back, and I don't know what country in Africa I'm from. But I do know that my roots are in Louisiana. I'm an American.
I mean, you're going to get a lot of flack for saying you're not African American. You know that, right? So I want you to say what you really mean by that.
What I really mean by that is I'm an American. That's what I really mean.
You know, we're Americans, period. That's it.
I've been to a couple of countries, and I've worked with different groups of people from Africa, different countries in Africa. And in the course of us working together and talking, slavery comes up in the conversation. So I asked a simple question, and I got a simple answer for it. And this is from all of them. This wasn't just one or two people from, this is from people of every region that I had talked to. And I asked them, I said, was there any like verbal history told in Africa as of slavery and the people getting stolen and or sold off or whatever and sent away to America? And they said no. I'm like, okay, well, how did you learn about slavery? They said in school. Yeah, in school taught by Westerners. So with that alone being said, I'm expected to believe that this whole slavery thing happened, the transportation aspect of it, when no one that I met from Africa confirmed that. But they do confirm that they learned about it in school. This African American thing, one of the biggest lies ever told in history. You are a Black American, you are from here. And that's all to it. All that other stuff, the bond with my African brother, for you all that believe that and you want to play dress up, hey, do what you do. Don't use your brain.
So yeah, that was just a little snippet of a few things this morning. Peace, Jaguar. Peace, brother Ken. How y'all brothers doing this evening, this morning, or this afternoon?
Hanging in there, man. I ain't realized you was already live, man. So my bad on that. But peace to the family. Yeah, you already know, man. You know, keeping it rolling, man. What y'all got in mind today?
Man, I was just going through, looking at a few videos, and noticed how every time Saneter or any of those brothers go live, they mentioning our people. Conversation is Aboriginal, or it gets brought up somewhere in the conversation, whether the title says it or not. So, you know, obviously the arrows that we shooting their way, the information arrows is sticking, right? If they landing, right? So I just want to go through and see how they corrupting our people with mispersuasion and no actual evidence of nothing that they say at all. So yeah, that's pretty much what I was getting into, brother.
Yeah, man. They gotta use what's relevant, what's the hype right now. So, we probably see them from here on out, try to discuss and debunk this information because it just can't be done. And like I say, we know they need everybody, they still got the little money they need or whatever, however they need to make it. And it's understandable, but the people that's mostly with them, that always respond in the way that they want them to, they just already either part of their organization or, just really don't care about nothing and just want to have something to rebel. Yeah, and a lot of people ain't really trying to learn. A lot of people just want to say, nah, that ain't right. You know what I'm saying? They just want to be able to say that about anything. You got a lot of smart people like that too. But, we'll just keep
very
tomahawking and snapping.
Yeah, they just want to be disagreeable. How you doing, brother Ken? You in here? Ken Becker. I think the brother might have stepped away for a few seconds. Or his mic still cut off. I don't know, one or two. Yeah, man. We just gonna keep it rocking. We just gonna keep it funky. The information.
Yo, what's good, Joe?
What pitch going on, brother? How you doing?
What up, man? Chilling. I was on 125th Street maybe like a few months ago.
You was
trying to chop it up with them guys. The energy was mad crazy though. I couldn't even deal with them dudes.
Oh, okay. So they try to. I mean, how did it go, brother? I mean, enlighten us. Let's talk about it.
It didn't seem real. It seemed like it was type stage. Like we were. I was trying to dive in on like you said, they like to be about a lot of hype. So when it came to like the earth cosmology, I went over there to see what they was talking about or whatever. Well, really, it was just Saneter and but then that dude Sankofa walked up the street and Saneter had called him like, yo, this dude here, flat earth dude, whatever. I was like, yo. And so he just threw, they was just on some antagonistic type shit movement. And I was like, nah, energy got crazy. And like, he wasn't trying to really tape nothing, because I was just hitting them with bombs, just like, undeniable stuff, So we didn't even get to deal with this facts because he knows the truth about, where he from and all that, being Dominican. He being Dominican and all that. But he don't want to talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. So yeah, man. That's what it's really all
Say
about.
he want to talk about it.
Couldn't hear you,
About being Dominican.
Yeah, because that's what he is, ain't he?
Yes, I know
Yeah.
that. I've said several times that his mother and grandmother is Dominican. So
Yeah, he used to say that a lot, man. Around and back in 2012, 2013. That's all he used to say, man. I'm Dominican. My people come from Dominican. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I was just building too with the brothers. My bro Huey. I don't know if you had, him or whatever, but he's down to join the bill too because we've been chopping up on the same topic. Like, y'all dudes be, really going hard and trying to get people to, recognize, what's there is and shit like that. So, you know, if y'all don't mind, I would have shared the link, but I just wanted to ask y'all. I ain't just want to hit them with the link and stuff like that without telling y'all or asking y'all.
I don't see why that would be a problem, brother. Like I said, this platform is strictly about truth and awareness of identity and who you are or who you are not, right? All we try to do is bring to the table that we are who we are, and we never ask nobody to be nothing else besides what we want to be and what we always want to be, which is the direct descendants of the people of the grandmother civilization, and that's who we are. So we got to take pride in this, and all the cosmologies and the flat Earth, we welcome that over here too. So definitely. Oh, brother Ken, I got a few questions for you if you don't mind me asking. Peace, Chief. How you doing?
Power, peace, man.
Peace,
Peace to all the esteemed brothers on the chat on the panel, man. Shout out to Ken. Shout out to Jaguar Omeg. What it do, brothers? How y'all doing, man?
Hanging in there, man. Hanging in there.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man. So
yeah, man. Peace and love to all the American Aborigines, man.
Shout
out to all the people listening in.
Yo,
see a lot of new faces in here too, man.
Peace, knowledge.
What up, Ken?
How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm at work, man. I got a question for you guys, man.
Absolutely.
My hand just locked up on me. What does that mean? Like, I'm at work, I work a lot with my hands, and this shit got me tripping out. Like, I don't know if it's a spasm or what, but my shit is fucked up.
Hey, what's going on, family?
Peace. What's going on?
Yeah, you just probably worked your hands too hard, man.
Yeah, man.
Sound like arthritis.
My hand just locked up on me.
Thanks for
Motherfucker wouldn't move like that. It was stuck like that, yo. I had to call Matt to come move the shit for you. Nah, I told him he got a run machine now. I go holler at fucking what shit look like it's say that again?
Mike. Yeah, talk to Mike.
Yeah, but he tell me, man, just stretch it out, man. This shit keep locking up. I'm gonna go back over there and lock up again.
Damn, bro.
Hey, mute your mic, brother.
Oh, I'm sorry, brother.
You might need to eat a banana or something, man.
Yeah, another thing it could be is anytime you work with your hands, usually your joints take small damage to it. Anytime your joints take small damage, arthritis set in. So it's different forms of arthritis like carpal tunnel and other different things that set in after a long time of working and injuring your joints in your fingers or any joints in your body. Arthritis sets in. So it could be early stages or of arthritis, brother. So, but yeah, how you doing, brother Brandon? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing fine, man. Thanks for the invite, man. I heard a lot of good things about you, brother.
I appreciate that. You must be talking about Chief Holiday. This is Aboriginal power. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah. I've been
I'm
getting
here
your
too.
links, and Ken been putting me on to a lot of stuff, and pretty much everything you guys, the knowledge and wisdom that you guys be dropping. So I'm all for it, man. I always knew, that my ancestors uh, pretty much been on these lands already. You know what I mean? I found out that I'm Choctaw. My mom side of the family is what they call supposedly Blackfoot. But
Oh, okay.
you know what I mean? But I trace it back. My family so far from what what the records that they give that I can see is back to the 1600s. You know what I mean? When they came over and they tricked them and so supposedly enslaved them in the Carolinas up there back to 1611 when I traced my great great grandparents. You know what I mean? They ain't have no English language. They just made them put a mark, on this piece of paper that they got pictures of through Ancestry.com. But it's just a beautiful thing knowing that my people ain't come here on no boats, man. You know what I mean? We've been here, you know what I mean, growing food on the land, living off the land, you know what I mean? We're responsible for building the so-called pyramids of the Americas. It's just a beautiful thing to know that, you know what I mean, that your lineage and everything go back, man, long
Right.
time.
Right. So how do you feel about certain people persuading you and misdirecting your attention to another landmass when it's a possibility that they've known who we are in the things we accomplish on this land long before the people accomplish any pyramids on the other continent? How you feel about that?
It angers me because, for one, they took away the foods. First off, the foods that's native to this land. That I know certain things that might be growing in my backyard right now that they told me, hey, you need to spray some weed kill on it. This might be the cure for all kind of diseases and ailments that we're going through. But it angers me, you know what I mean, that the fact that they hid all these mounds. Like right now, I'm in North Florida, man, and we got what they call supposedly Indian mounds, but these are places where what I mean, the ancestors will go and do certain things and stuff, and just the fact that they hid stuff, blew up stuff, you know what I mean, and even supposedly I heard rumors that Mount Rushmore actually had other faces or something on it, but they carved it away and put their faces in it. So it angers me, brother.
Damn, that's a good. I ain't never heard that one. That sounds like something I need to look into. Uh, yeah. And I believe it angers us all, especially us that's coming to the truth. Maybe some of the people that's really not aware of who we are and are just being totally corrupted and indoctrinated by the whole out of Africa theory. I believe a lot of the people that is coming to the truth that's still hearing the misdirection is getting very upset because there's more than enough evidence out there to prove that we have been here long before the continent was called Africa, and long before the people they started even migrating. We had already had civilization, agriculture, irrigation, and other things here. So anything you want to build on top of that, Chief?
Yeah, man. I mean, sheesh. At this point right now, man, I don't. It seems crazy for us to keep having this type of conversation because remember last night what we said. They have no evidence, man. Sheesh. The brother just said he's in Florida. I've never even heard of an Indian goddamn mound. That sounds crazy. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no Indians on no reservation talking about their ancestors in no damn mound. Our ancestors built those mounds. Period. And mounds predate pyramids. So here's another thing too, right? Pyramids aren't the oldest structures on the world, on this planet.
Mm-mm.
I mean, we understand that technology is something else, but architecture, math, and science, I mean, you have to do that for other things also. So when you see the steps, the thousands of steps that it took millions of stones to make, just steps. You know what I'm saying? These steps are still standing today. So I mean, yo, man, our ancestors were wonderful. They were great. They were so much great that people are saying, no, aliens must have built this. When they show you with the depictions on the walls where they went and got the stuff from, how they brought it here, and what they did to build it. So I mean, it's crazy to me to see, you know, how what they're doing. But peace to all the new faces I see on here, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Thank y'all for coming through tonight.
Oh yeah.
What's up, Brandon?
The piggyback
Definitely.
on what you're talking about, Chief. There's some brothers I used to listen to back in the day when I first came into, you know, my people and whatnot. But they saying that we've been around for a long time. Like just conceiving time itself, you know what I mean? You can't really put a time or a date on it. But the brother was saying, like, as far as when we use the stars to map out stuff and learning, you know what I mean? Like they say that supposedly it takes like 12,000 years or 40,000 years for this particular cycle with the zodiac that our ancestors laid down. That would let you know that, you know, somebody when did that particular generation of our ancestors, let's just say 20 million years ago, right? Because that's, you know, you got some brothers that say that we've always been here, but imagine when they began to look at the stars, right, and notice that there was a cycle. So if they say that a particular cycle is 20,000 years or 30,000 years, when you see this particular cycle, that lets you know how long we've been doing this. And then, you know, you just said, you know, look at the step pyramids, and I know for a fact too that the mounds predate the pyramids. They just let you know how much information and knowledge and technology that we was dealing with that, to me, gave life to what we see now in the year 2018. You know what I mean? It's just the fact that, like you said, the aliens did it because they don't want to admit that, hey, man, or what they call man, has been here longer than them, and it just angers them that they, what they call Johnny come lately. You know what I mean? And when I say that, I'm talking about the so-called Europeans. You know what I mean? But it's crazy, man. It angers me that all that stuff was stolen and blown up. You know what I mean? A lot of our grave sites and stuff was big old buildings and cities and skyscrapers were built on it. They even say that, you know, Central Park in New York was an actual place that the ancestors dealt with, and they turned, you know, it's just crazy, man, when you look at all the stuff that was done and that to wipe out our history.
Right.
That's dope. Hey, just a fun fact for everybody, right? You know, the Cahokia and the mounds and pyramids, well, pyramids there, right? Well, they're mounds now because they took the capstones and the stones off of them to build, let's just say, the St. Louis Cathedral, for instance. They use bulldozers. They actually have a videotape of them bulldozing down the pyramids in the East St. Louis area. So this is not the first time they came to this country. Was like, what the fuck? They start tearing stuff down. Like they got another spot in Ohio that the base, it's just the base now, is the largest base on the planet. It's larger than the Pentagon. So our people was building, and listen, here's the thing that's crazy, right? You can't build all these things that you're building if you don't have food to eat. Hunter-gatherers don't have time to build these monuments that are older than the Ice Age, that are older than what you guys are saying. You know what I'm saying? So it's too stupid, man. It's dumb as hell what we're saying, that they have no knowledge of what they're talking about. Like none. Like that's an actual fact that they actually took the stones off these pyramids to build a lot of these structures and things that you're seeing.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous, man. Yeah, peace of family.
Yeah,
Hey.
they even proved that the stones from a lot of those cathedrals are from the mounds. They have proved that, and yeah, man, they know what's up. And peace, brother Huey P. Nonsense, right? Peace,
Nuisance. What's up, family? Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, brother. How you doing?
How y'all brothers doing, man? How y'all doing? Peace to the chat. Peace to the panel. What's up to all my brothers, man? What's up, Ken Beffer? Appreciate the invite, brother. Appreciate y'all brothers, man. It's always an honor to be on any panel with brothers like-minded brothers who trying to get this truth out here, man. And the thing that y'all saying is like it's crazy, right? How they did our ancestors, right? Y'all agree? We all agree with that, right? But what's even more crazy is, right, they doing the same thing to us now. And we worried about what they doing to them. What they did to them was cool. But what about what they doing to us right now? What about the things that they doing that they did to them? We still allow it to happen to us to these days. So how do we come together as like y'all brothers, y'all Aborigines? So y'all getting y'all paperwork and y'all getting y'all freedom basically is what we trying to do and really try to spread it. But the only way to do it is to do what? Have a nation. And that's that have the people behind it. You feel what I'm saying? So that's the biggest push that we all should be trying to get together, man, in a way to provide food, shelter, and clothing for our own. You know what I'm saying? Buy our own for our own. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. We got to be able to self-sustain. And you're right. They are doing the same thing that they did to our ancestors. But just to get into that a while, we were considered the new world, meaning we hadn't been colonized yet before, Europeans and white Africans came over here, right? So,
right.
But before they came, they had spent thousands of years colonizing other people. It's only been just 150 years, if that, of them colonizing here. So, they expecting for our people just to die out within the next few hundred years because of the lack of awareness, the lack of education, and all this other indoctrination. But you see the uprise of our people, right? The ancestors have woke up and they are moving through brothers like Chief Holiday, Jaguar, Olmec, Untonscious is one, to wake our people up. And also like Dan Calloway. And even some of the other master teachers are now getting a whiff of what the ancestors are whispering in their ear. Shout out to the
Right.
Dr. M. Step, because a lot of people are starting to focus on America when it comes to the cradle of civilization, when it comes to the cradle of agriculture. They no longer look at Africa no more, right?
Yeah.
So we got to understand how people are here, and we got to start taking pride in everything that we do, right? It should be no longer calling ourselves African when we have no ties, no emotional connection to that continent. And like apparently these Africans,
Facts. Because you can't be an African American. You feel me? They ain't got no land for African Americans. And then when we go to Africa, they gonna let them know that, man, they tripping. Y'all, that's y'all's land over there. They ain't got nothing for it. You know what I'm saying? So America is our land. And what they got us tricked at is believing that the United States is our country. And we abide by they laws under the United States. And United States is parading around like they're our country. Well, they're the corporation, and our country is America, is the North and the South Americas. We are the Americas. You feel what I'm saying? We're not We're not United Statesians. We're Americans. You know what I'm saying? So once we start realizing that and stop accepting their pressures because they doing the same thing that they're doing to the world to us inside of here, it's the United States that's pushing their weight on everybody, not America. See, the problem is not with America. The problem is with the United States, because there's the United States Army that's out there doing it. But they parade like it's the United States of America and try to make us all look like a bunch because they got the states franchised. You feel me?
You're
They
right.
got
You're right, and it is. I'm help you out with that. It is United States of America. See, it's a difference between the United States of America, right? And there's a big difference between that and the United States. The United States is each states, which is countries, the United Countries, right? And that's what each state that you live in is. That's why each state have its own constitution. That's why it have its own governor to govern the country, right? So when you hear United States of America, right, you know it's a corporation. It's using a four-letter wording, right? Also with a president. Every business, every corporation has a president, right? So we got to understand what we're dealing with when we look at to these certain terminology. And I want to say one more thing. Peace, brother. Sir, I can't see the rest of your name, but how you doing, bro?
Sir Drop.
Yeah, what's going on, family? How everybody doing, man? To touch on what y'all was saying, so what it seems like to me is it seemed like they tricked us into saying they're letting us be them when we already was the Americans. You know what I'm saying? So, like I'm saying, well, you guys are African Americans. They bet we already was Americans. That's like us saying, well, you guys can be the Caucasian Americans or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It kind of don't make sense if we're saying that the slave trade was probably 10% true or accurate. It don't make no sense for us to be called African Americans if we was already here and we didn't come from Africa. It seemed like they should be called the European Americans or something. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't make
Hey,
any sense.
it made perfect
Well,
sense because my bad, Chief, my bad.
no, it's all good. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, I was gonna say the reason why they introduced the whole out of Africa theory because it pays into when they did them Homestead Acts of 1860, 1861, and 1862, which was when they pretty much made the people that was already here. They were like, hey, listen, you know what I mean? We're gonna share y'all land. See, they flipped the script and made it seem like they were the owners of the land and we were sharecropping with them, which in turn really what was going on, we let them get on the land. Because think about it, you talking about the people that's not from this land, they come over, don't know nothing about the way the land works, the way stuff grows and nothing like that. So what happened was when they did these treaties, right, with these Native Indians or Native Americans, the Iroquois, the Cherokee, the Seminole, the Choctaw, all these different tribes, right? When they did that, they opened up the borders for all the immigrants. And, hey, we got them now. We got them to put they mark on these Homestead Acts. And what them Homestead Acts did, man, was allow them to come over here, set up their corporations, and take all the land from the natives and start the whole industrial complex, man. And to this day, they not even upholding these treaties. You know what I'm saying? When they were the whole aspect of the 40 acres and the mule thing. They were like, oh yeah, we're gonna give y'all land back, but they didn't. They wound up giving the land to your so-called farmers. You know what I mean? So they can always keep the land and always keep the promise and keep on kicking that promise can down the road. So that Homestead Act, man, was a real big slap in the face to our people, man. It's crazy.
Facts. That is a damn fact. Yo, when you talk about Dr. Martin Luther King, right? Because he talks about the Homestead Act, right? But he had made a statement that he was basically saying exactly what you're saying about the Homestead Act, that they allowed these Europeans to come in here. They educated them, you know what I'm saying, with these agriculture schools and things of that nature, whatever, as well as land grants. But I was, once again, you know, you can't say, oh, I don't want to watch these guys because they're alt-right or whatever, right? They're Klansmen and stuff like that, right? So I was checking out something years ago on David Duke, right? And I've learned some stuff from this guy. Not nothing that, you know, like educational, but just how they move and how they think, right? And he was doing an interview in Argentina. Now, it was some white Argentinians interviewing him. Keep that in mind. Now, Argentina is in South America. Argentina is a black country that they are turning white, okay? Now, David Duke's doing an interview with these guys, right? And he's sitting and talking to them on their television, so all their people are watching it. Now, he's a white guy from Europe that's in America, and he's giving them advice on how to whiten up Argentina even more. And he's saying, listen, you guys should give Europeans parcels of land grants and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, that's how they think. To come oppress, send more people over here on our land to oppress the people, take the land from the people. And I just think that's interesting, man. And they literally, this is what they've done here in America or Australia, whatever, giving these people land grants and stuff like that to come to the land and to oppress the people, to get more benefits on that land than the people. And that's what Europeans are doing here. Now I ask this question, right? Like, what do we need extra rights as Americans? Or do we just need to wrap our arms around the rights that we already have on this land? And if there's any extra stuff that we should get as first Americans, because I guess they don't understand what Aboriginal mean after we done told them 18 million times. We just the first inhabitants of this land. The ones who never migrated here. We sprung up from the soil. That's called a tanchan. Maybe we need to start putting those bigger words out because they like big words. So this is dumb. I seen Sankofa's name in the title. Shout out to Sankofa. I don't know. I don't know if he's jumped on the dumb wagon with these guys, but he used to
Oh
be a
yeah,
Hebrew Israelite.
yeah, he did. He did, and he
Yo.
ticked me off. I got plenty more work. I wouldn't give him that work, really.
I mean, well, maybe they try to set up the debate. We want that smoke, y'all. We really do. We really want that smoke. I mean, I don't know what else. Once again, we're gonna say this: if we do a real debate with these guys, right, or just a real, it's not a debate. They don't have anything to present. Like nothing. Listen, you would have to have some historical accounts on the transatlantic slave trade. You would have to, but it just don't add up. You got all these people in the Spanish territories where Spain didn't go to Africa and kidnap people and bring them back here. That just didn't happen. That's why you don't see them talking about that. So I just want to know what country did this. Britain didn't do it. America didn't do it. Who did it? It's just too many holes in the story. Oh, where did they build the boats at? Where did they get the wood from? Because in Europe, they had a crisis on wood. Motherfuckers was freezing to death.
Facts.
Freezing to death. So they didn't have enough wood to live off of. So how they building boats? It's craziness.
And where's the remains of the boats and all that? You know what I'm saying? It seemed like they could show
Said
it.
the same thing. Where is the boats at? Where are the boats at? Where one boat at?
Yeah, and what law made all black people slaves in America? Where's your freedmen paper? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of things missing to the story besides the data.
It's when they put that Constitution in, man, and put that money in the in effect and start documenting our birth and took us away from that. You feel what I'm saying? And start schooling us. When they start killing us and start doing that because it came in, we let them in. We was peaceful. All the warriors let them in and they tricked them in. That's what I think really happened. Like they tricked them off and was like they tricked us, and then they start killing the warriors and made the motherfucking women and made us fearful of them. You feel what I'm saying? And they start eating of the land and make the animals and shit. They start eating of everything and shit. So everything started. It was a ripple effect and it was a domino effect after everything then forth. You feel what I'm saying? Because they tricked our mind state and they use this tactic to this day, a fear tactic. You feel me? It got people fearful to stand up for themselves because they see how brutal they get, how they shoot us down and how they do this, that, and the third. So people are scared to stand up. That's why it'd be like one man leading a million people instead of everybody walking together like we all warriors. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it is what it is, bro. We we was tribes, you know, it was a chief, and then it was Indians or whatever you want to call them. You feel what I'm saying? And it was different chiefs of different tribes. But if you could take the head out, and then everything else gonna follow down because all they see, they was praising them. That's all we knew was to praise them because they was the ones who knew how to do the rain dances, and we were spiritual people, so we just like to party and have fun. So they tricked us with that because we was living in peace. You feel me? We was living as one with the nature, one with everything. You feel what I'm saying? And when they disconnected us from that, that's what's then been a domino effect, and everybody is so scared to lose what they offer now. You feel me? So it's hard to get away from them because they didn't trick us with the paperwork. They like whipping us with a long whip, but they ain't hitting us with the whip. You feel me? But they still whipping us. You feel what I'm saying? It's just like it's a psychological slave thing that they got going on.
Well, they got documents, right, of some of the earliest people coming to what we call North America. I ain't even getting into Cristobal Colon, right? But like DeSoto, right? We always been a rebellion people, right? We just don't like nobody running up on our land trying to take over shit, right? You don't want nobody coming to your house trying to change the TV while you sitting and relaxing, right? It's not going down. And that's the way it always been. So when they came and try to run shit, speaking of DeSoto, he left a few people here. He left to go get more. When he came back, those people that he left was dead. Their heads was on sticks. You see what I'm saying? And what it is they died off through the sickness. And during those times of trying to heal, they came and kind of conquered. And even in early 1600s, when they was trying to take over and colonize coming in through the dock ports in Virginia, right? Tennessee and Kentucky hadn't even been colonized. They still didn't get colonized by the 13 colonists, but they still been swallowed up by this construct. But they fought for at least 200 years helping the Virginians. Yeah. Fighting all the colonists that came over here. So
That's
we
crazy because they
go
make
ahead.
they make it seem like, oh, we was just yes a
Well,
boss, yes a master. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
no,
We
we
was
fought,
Oh
we
fucking
no,
fought.
really
we
getting
went
off.
back.
Like we was.
No, we
No,
fought.
I
oh yeah, we
always
fought.
believe that, bro. That we wasn't just sitting around getting our ass kicked. No, bitch, we were fucking fighting. You know what I'm saying? If we already know that we had some real deal warriors. You know what I mean? Like I don't see how they were saying, oh, they just came and conquered us. I don't believe that shit. I believe, man, we was fucking them up. You know what I mean? Until
Oh
they
yeah,
started
we
bringing all the
definitely was.
gunpowder and shit. You know what I mean? They had the bullets.
No,
I mean,
no, I gotta correct you on that. Hold on. They was fucking us up. Listen, we didn't invest in building weapons and stuff. So when they came back, we fucked them up the first time. They went back and they was like, man, well, to take over this shit, the same thing they do to this day and age. They build weaponry and they came back with some Gatling guns and stuff. And how we gonna beat that? You know what I'm saying? And that's how
I
they end up.
mean, you right. That was later on at a certain time period. But before then, right? They didn't come at us with straight war because they knew what type of people it was. It was documented. We was ferocious. It was
Right.
highly intense. We was very smart people with strength and agility and ability. They knew what it was. So what they got us with indoctrination, right? And then we felt comfortable with them. Then they started chopping off at the heads, right? But we still fought. If you watch any cowboy movie, right? Pretty sure people parents grew up watching the cowboys, right? Cowboy Indian shows. The Indians stayed on the cowboys' ass every time, right? There wasn't no Africans. There wasn't no Africans
Without a
attacking them.
doubt. That's why I like them clips you played earlier. I remember watching the clips a couple years ago. Cause just a little backstory real quick on how I even started tapping into the information. Well,
Yeah,
first
definitely. I would like that.
yeah, huh?
I would like for all y'all to get into it, maybe a backstory how y'all came into the information.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so boom, right? All right, dang, where should I begin? All right, well, all right, a few years ago, right, my younger brother, right, he's like, yo, you should check this out. He was building with Ali Muhammad, right? And at the time I had a lot of respect for some of what he was putting out there, right? So I was like, all right, I'll check it out. But he was charging like a lot of money for some book. And I was like, yo, it's cool, but let me see the book. My brother had already paid for it or whatever. So he sent me a copy to my email. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, I believe that. I already been believing that all my life because I'm from Brooklyn, right? My mom's was born in Panama, my pop's born in Costa Rican. And I'm like, I don't see no difference between them, but they always like, there's different prides and different egos that people can have about their cultures. And then, being that they were Spanish speaking, you know, dark people living in New York and they had this West Indian kind of feel. You had the American borns here who had, their disdain, and Haitians at the time wasn't cool. And I used to be like, everybody's the damn same. We all the same. This whole shit is America from young. So when I seen the information, I was like, nah, I rock with that. That's cool and all that. But so I started diving deeper, and then I ran into like Chief Langley information online, and that's when I really started to say like, this is real, because my cousin, he looked just like my cousin. So I was started to ask questions, because the thing that he was saying was to ask your older relatives questions about your family history. And one of the critical questions that was posted out there was, did
Kind of
you
cut out.
You broke
was
up.
like 12 or
You
13
broke
years
some.
old.
It's your
And I had
question.
asked my grandmama where we was from. And she was like, her mama was born in Jamaica. And then I was like, where was her mother born? She was like, she believes she was born in Jamaica too. And I asked her, what's her name? She told me Amelia Lindo. And that's as far back as she knew. And so I started doing the research on that, and I started tying all together and just looking at the stories of the people from the lands, and none of it goes back to Africa. So I was like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah, yeah, man. That's a good testimony, man. But you see how it resonated in your heart, though, to just follow the truth, because only your spirit can guide you to the truth.
And I look up the Amelia Lindo and them. It's like they like could be like Sephardic Jews or something like that, and like Taino or Arawak people, and you know, when you look at the people, the native people of Panama and Costa Rica, it's like the same kind of thing. Like it's all tied in, like maybe in different tribe names, but all similar characteristics, similar stuff, and they all tawny brown or brown people. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, this is the same people. You know what I mean? So it's like they try to, and then you ask people, from here about their story or their lineage, and then say, oh, my grandmother's Cherokee. And that's you still Cherokee. Or, or their great grandfather was Choctaw. Well, that's you. You know what I mean? So why would you consider yourself an African? Only because Jesse Jackson came in like 88 or 90 something and was like, said that on TV. And I remember last day because it threw me off. I was like, what? He was just saying Afro American before that. And then,
Yep.
and then he called, you know what I'm saying? I was like, now he didn't came in, it was like, introduced a new classification. And I was like, nah, this shit ain't right. This shit don't make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense, but we bought into it. And, now we trying to, peel it back and reveal, the truth again that people are.
You know how we always used to say, Indian in my family, or how girls used to say, my hair good. I got Indian in my family. We used to always make jokes about that, right? And then like just on the journey, like all of us been searching, like, and it's funny how like Ken, I met this brother just, through panels, and Brandon, we got the same birthday and stuff. And just like he was just saying his people is Blackfoot, like I've been building with my pops and my aunties, and my pop's sisters and things like that, trying to wonder what we were and stuff. They was like, yeah, we Blackfoot. Papa was an Indian. They showing me pictures of my great grandpa and stuff. They got these big ass Indian hats on with big feathers on, and they just sitting there. My grandmother, I remember she had this long gray hair. And my great grandma, she had some long gray hair, like her hair was real long. And she used to always just be sitting there, and I used to be like rubbing her feet. But now I think about it now to this day. If you would think about it, just think of your grandma with the long hair to her back, man, and it's all gray. That's an Indian lady or whatever, not even Indian or whatever you want to call it. This one Indian, but I'm just saying.
You dead right though, Huey, because Irene, my grandmother, oldest sister, man, she got the silky silver hair, bro. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, man. I kind of forgot
So
what I was
what
going to
y'all
say.
saying? Hey, so y'all saying the Indians is just black folks. Y'all don't think it's like Africans and Mexicans mixing and shit like that that made that particular?
No.
Absolutely not.
Hold on, real quick, y'all. Okay. Here's the thing, right? Just imagine like this. This is all black people on this land. The white man came here and created new tribes, and then did deals with those tribes all up and down this landmass, and they set up caste systems. That's why they're winning. They don't even have to be here or be on the country. If they got you, you've been educated by them. You in their system, their banking system, everything. If you're under their banking systems, your military falls up under them. Your agriculture falls up under them. Your schools, everything is funded by them. It's funded by you, but you letting them.
They controlling everything from afar. They pushing our buttons from outside. Like I be trying to tell them, bro, like it's like a game. You see, if you play Xbox, or any kids play all the 2K and stuff, you be in the playground and be everybody controlling their avatar from afar. But y'all all could be on one game. They looking at everybody on this tube, and they millions of miles away. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about the buttons that they can push. And like they lined up all the buttons. They got control of our school system for one. Then they feed us. They got control over that, and then they control us with the religion dogma that they put in to keep us separated. And they sit together from afar or together. All of the system is connected as one. While they keep us down here divided, they got control. If we ever can see that, we will all come together and move our little foundation from up under the all-seeing eye pyramid, then we can control that motherfucker because it's gonna fall on his face. That's what we miss.
No, my bad, bro. You finished? Okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead, brother.
Well, here's the problem, right, y'all? We act like the boule and these gatekeepers don't exist sometimes. Like, you know what I'm saying? When we talking about stuff, right? I asked this question last night. Can anybody name me an organization that is for us and by us? They could have been created by us, but they usurped everything by funding it. So can you guys name me an organization that's for Black people or for colored people that is for us and by us? Just one. We need an institution, and I feel like that's our problem because we don't have any. But if y'all can name one that I
you, brother, you can't name one. You can't count NAACP. You can't count nan one of these. Nan one of them, bro. And this is what we missing right now in these days, bro. We ain't got nothing to lean on, bro. We ain't got nobody out here speaking for us. We ain't got nothing to get behind. We ain't got no fight. I mean, we do got fight in us, but it's the wrong fight, bro. And that's the craziest thing missing, bro. Like, damn, bro.
I mean, think about it, y'all. We wouldn't even have this problem. We just changed our mindset, which meaning, okay, well, we take care of each other. We're not killing each other. So violence is down. That's number one. So then people say, you know what? I want to invest back in the hood. I'm going to invest, buy the block up, do certain things, put grocery stores or something there. We would start supporting each other. We don't have to fight nobody. Just be like, okay, look, we love each other. We are in love with our own people first. That means we're going to shop with us first. We're going to support our little leagues. We're going to support our high school teams. We're going to support our colleges. We're going to build our own shit. I'm tired of you weak ass niggas, man. Because this is what it is. Yeah. We scared because they have told us so many stories. Oh, we built Black Wall Street and they tore it down. They act like they built it in 1 week. You see what I'm saying? We've been building, man. So we have to get back to building. And I understand the terrorism and stuff that they have done to us because they want to call it something else. No, it's terrorism. It's not lynching. It's terrorism. That's what you guys did when you came here to take this land. Period. So we just need some reparations for this. And they're not giving nobody reparation from Africa. I heard somebody say, oh, yeah, remember Johnny Cochran got reparations for Africans. That's what you say because they're going to call everybody Africans. But you're not getting reparation for being an African on this land. That's what nobody's not getting. They get reparations for being prisoners of war on this land. That's what we got to talk about. Let's start talking about that. Stop talking about slaves. Oh, man, check this out. I watched Thor last night, right? Or this morning. I was up after the show last night watching Thor, right? I got caught up. And there was a part in there where Jeff Goldblum was the bad guy in the movie, right? And somebody came to him and said, the slaves are ready. He said, oh, wait a minute. You know, he's funny. He said, I don't like that word slave. Okay, we use something else. So the woman says, she called them the workers who are the prisoners who are working. That's what she said. She corrected the prisoners that are working. Y'all, these people know what the fuck is going on. You're the only people sitting back saying, oh, we get caught up in being slaves, right? The word slave, but you don't understand employee is a slave. You see what I'm saying? It's a servant. It's a servant. If you are a servant to these people, or if you let these people take taxes from you, rule over you, in their definition, we all are slaves if that's what we're doing, right? What we're trying to say is we're trying to be free of taxes, free to do what we want to do on our own land for our people. Because once we start building as Aborigines, instead of seeing Korean stores in the neighborhoods, you'll see Aboriginal stores in the neighborhood. That's what we want to see. We need to put these people out of business and not being mean. We're just going to do what they do. They don't support us, don't support their shit, man. That has no face on it. That has no political agenda on it. That's just us. Let's just do us. That's the problem. Niggas and us as men, the women are waiting on us to be motherfucking leaders in this thing. Not to sit back and say, oh, we wonder what the sisters need, what they want, what we're going to do. No, men make motherfucking decisions.
Facts. Talk that shit.
We make motherfucking decisions. You motherfuckers do what the fuck we say. Why would they respect us when we run up and down the basketball courts for them? We sing and dance for them. We make movies. We do every motherfucking thing for them. Why would your woman respect you? You a little baby to them. They got their thumb in your ass. When we gonna stand the fuck up and say, you know what, y'all not doing this to our children no more. This is not happening no more, or this is gonna happen. Matter of fact, even if y'all think about doing something disrespectful, somebody gonna see you. You niggas that go to prison for Jordans, you won't go to prison for protecting your fucking people, nigga? Who are you talking to? You niggas is weak. That's the problem. We're scared. We're scared. We're scared as a people because they have taught us Willie Lynch. And I say this all the time. Shout out to Saneter, right? But if you got a child, you walking down 125th Street, and they little, and they look up and they see the pictures of the hung people and stuff, right? I know we should never forget, but guess what? You're still doing what they wanted you to do. You're terrorizing the babies. You're terrorizing the women. Because our women gonna say, you know what? I don't want that to happen to my man. All I hear all the time, I'm not gonna be a strong black man because they'll kill us. Niggas tell me this, been telling me this for years. Man, they gonna pock you. Pock me, motherfucker. I'm not gonna lay down. I'm not gonna stop being a motherfucking man because they're gonna kill me. That's fantasy. That's a fantasy. Why would they kill somebody for building for their people? We're not trying to hurt nobody. Because we done seen too many Mississippi burning movies, right? Because that's the only reason, that's the source of their power, man, is social Darwinism, socializing us to believe that they're stronger than us, man.
Fear tactic.
That's it. That's all it is, man. We are afraid of nothing. We're afraid of some ghosts. We're afraid of fake people, man. Listen, let's just do us. We don't have to do anything else. And if we get any benefits from that, that's fine. I want to buy my own land. I don't want them to give me anything. Because if they might give you something, they can take it back. This is ours. You know what I'm saying? We get our land.
I feel you on that. But you know what else too, bro?
I don't think we should have to buy the land back. I think they took the land from us, so we take our shit back. Buying shit is giving them power, giving them more money. We don't fucking want to accept money. We don't want to accept shit that y'all got going on. I don't want to accept none of that shit. I don't want to accept this fake money that
Huey,
my bad.
Not to cut you, bro, but look, what they do, they come in our communities and try to buy the land. So obviously, like, we got to reverse the flips. Yeah, so we might have to part with a few shekels, but we know the money is worthless. So yeah, they can have the money, but what they want to buy the land, so they're not trying to give it up. But I wanted to also add those, like, I'm also down with the research and the study and the finding the lands that they say allegedly is ours, that, you know, like each of us potentially has, you know what I mean? You know, has it right now, you know, like tracing my family back into Jamaica and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm about that. Like, and if, you know, that costs money too, you know what I'm saying, to even research and get that information, because I want it not just for me, but to share with my family. And, you know what I'm saying? And even if there ain't no land, then yeah, shit, I'm down to, you know, buy shit up. And like you said, like, we got to have our own nation. So that's why when we be building on the other joints, we talking about getting this money, you know what I mean? Like the science of getting rich, we got to add that with what we know, so that way we can, you know, build out society type shit. You know what I mean?
Facts. That's the number one thing. Money.
Yeah, man, we would have less violence amongst ourselves. We would be doing more building if we had prosperity amongst ourselves. Niggas would be less mad. You know what I'm saying? We would have, you know, less of these things going on in the world if we was doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Just think, our children, man, and they don't know that we used to build our own houses. We'd buy the land, build the house from the floor up. They don't even know we had those type of capabilities. And they also don't know that's where the pen was mightier than a sword. Because once we built all that stuff, they just came with deeds and pieces of paper like, y'all gotta move. So the only problem we would face is we would either have to get squatters right, like find some uncharted land, cut down some of the trees to make roadways and stuff, and just claim it. Because I don't think they would sell it to you. You know what I'm saying? Because they already won with the piece of paper. So to buy a whole state like Ohio that much land, I don't think they would give it to us. So we would kind of have to forcefully take it and then come up with some type of military to protect it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't protect it, they're going to do the toss of shit again. If that's anybody. If you got something worth value and you can't protect it, the Goonies going to come get it, man. That's just the way of life. That's how I'll be looking at it.
Let me throw something else out there, right? Maybe we working against our own best interest, meaning we don't have Jim Crow in this country no more, right? We don't have laws to stop us from building our own TV networks, our own basketball leagues. Y'all see what I'm saying? Fear is stopping us from doing these things. And yeah, the mob is gonna come in and do this to us, or they're gonna come in and take. So this is what I'm saying though. We don't have these problems no more. You know what I'm saying? We can go to the best schools. It's just the way we think. You see what I'm saying? Shout out to Dr. Yaya. I remember we did an interview with her. She was talking about her family taught her, yeah, she went to Michigan to get her degrees and stuff like that or whatever, right? But to always take that information and to benefit your community. These guys want to become boule members, and they are working against the community. Shout out to more to Steve Coakley, man. I mean, if y'all haven't done any research on the work that Steve Coakley was doing, please go back and check him out. He was pushing the line and was waking people up to a whole new existence. Like he even in some of his lectures and stuff, he would even have Kappas and Qs and things like that, because they didn't know they were lower levels in these organizations. And we asked ourselves, and shout out to all the fraternities and sororities and stuff, right? But imagine once they get this information, they're the teachers. Now what are we gonna do? Because this is the information that they've been hiding. They have literally been hiding. Listen, it's too much information for them not to be hiding this information. And at this point right now, if anybody that's supposed to be a teacher is teaching against this, he's either an agent or he's super dumb. It's not even close anymore. All of them, all of y'all are dumb or you're an agent. Because listen, if you can't go find any information to help your cause out, if I was a Pan-African still, right, with all this information that's on the internet, if you're still not researching, then you're just a believer. You're worse than the people that you talk about all the time. That's a problem for me. If you're not getting any power, no power comes from Black African power, period. So when we throw the Aboriginal power in there, right? Let's examine that. Why y'all so mad if y'all trying to go for power? It would be just another tribe of us doing another way of trying to get power, right? Now, if I was looking at the Black Panther and they had a program or something going on, right? Now, I'm not a Pan-Africanist, right? But guess what? They're doing something as a program that's working for us, then we should support that. And that's the same thing with them. If we doing something that we have something that's good for the people and that's changing these fucking laws or giving us some social clarity or some social political power, God damn it, why y'all mad? Y'all acting a little agency right there. Y'all acting like y'all little agents. What the fuck would you be mad about the things that we're doing to inspire and uplift our fucking people, man? We're not doing that to you. I mean, that's crazy to me, y'all. I don't understand that.
Real.
That's crazy.
That's real shit, bro. Because you're supposed to be taking your own angle and helping the people out as well. You feel what I'm saying? Or just like you said, you're a fucking agent. You're doing it for the wrong reason. You feel what I'm saying? You're not down here trying to help the people. That's why I had these motherfuckers. All they want to do is a debate because they want to destroy the fucking community. You're not trying to build. All you want to do is showing y'all how we can compete with each other and trying to show, instead of showing brothers how to get together and build, stand on the foundation of something, and let's build up some houses and build up some walls around here so we can fucking keep on moving. Not trying to tear down every brother that's trying to speak some type of good. Whatever his good is, let him fucking speak it. Don't tear down everything that he fucking doing, because ain't nobody perfect, and everybody trying to get to this right way if we thinking in the right way. You feel what I'm saying? So I agree with you, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, certain things I agree with you with, and certain things I'm not going to agree with you with. You feel me? But I can agree with the foundation of the shit that we need to wake up our community and we need to goddamn come together. And that's the foundation of the base of everything. And if folks can't see that, man, they sleeping under a rock or need to be up under the dirt or something. That's what's going on right now in these time of days, bro. We have to stop accepting these pressures and these fucking laws that they pushing upon our kids and letting them shoot us down and watching it and taping it and then march about it and don't do nothing about it. They sweep it up under the rug and go on to the next drug. You feel me? They got them drugged up with the confusion and the programming. That's why it's so hard to wake them up. And then when you get the people that's supposed to be waking up, and then y'all start beefing and show that y'all interact, ain't got no unity amongst each other, what that do for the community? Y'all still tearing us apart, just like the Warriors and the Cleveland Cavalier game. It's no difference. It's to have us competing. You got to compete to get on the team. Then you got to compete to win the dream, the American dream that they want us to live. What about our dreams? What about your dream? What about your kids' dream?
Facts.
You know, I just wanted to, you know, kind of segue real quick if I could piggyback off you. I was just looking at something on I think it was Instagram with 1,000 go ahead, and he had like a list of like chalked off surnames or whatever, and Durant, Dinwiddie, to NBA basketball player. These names was in there, you know, a bunch of names that common names that, you know, in my mind, you know, was taught to believe it, like, you know, brought in by Europeans or whatever. But you know, guys familiar with with the information that we have, like saying that, you know, we had these different names, and you know, I guess they was like defining, I guess, you know, different attributes and stuff or some stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, I was just asking if y'all knew more about that because I just when I
Let
saw
me.
it, it made me start looking it up, but I couldn't really find it, you know, where he got the information from.
I didn't get to
But it
hear
was
what
just
you
like
said.
a list of names.
Yeah, man. A lot of these surnames that you hear come from, you know, a lot of the indigenous tribes, and even take a step farther, a lot of the surnames that you hear Europeans came from us. So, you know, we got to learn those names. You know what I mean? Because you know they came over here looking for work. We already had established everything. You know what I mean? We making moccasins. You know what I'm saying? We got shit booming, right? They come work for us, you know, little labor. They ain't got no last name, so you know they become a shoemaker. They working for somebody who makes shoes up under a company, you know, a little business is making shoes. So they name will insert that as a surname. Insert, you know, in other ways. Some of them are geographical locations. You know what I'm saying, like woods, you know, shit like that. You know, that's a good bill to get into. You know, surnames and stuff.
So the thing about it
Hey, so
that I, you know, not real quick, Job. Now the thing that I found interesting about it is that, you know, I know that these elitists, that people, these scientists, or whoever who run these companies, they know who these people are. They know their names. They know the bloodlines. Of, you know, they know what a Durant, and they know what a Dinwiddie is. You know, a Smith, a Davis, and they know the shit that we don't know. You know what I'm saying? Coming up, so you know, I'm looking at that as, you know, a reason why they you know, enslaving today, basically, you know what I'm saying? These people with these abilities and making them work as a warrior, but an actor and cavalier. Like it's even a play on words with the be cavalier or be a warrior, but you still work for us and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, and they put us in a wars. You know, every war that's ever been fought in this land, our people was in it. Not just in it like in small percentages, like they tell you as like servants and cooks. No, we literally fought in wars. Every war. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, yeah. There's so many wars that we don't know about that I like. I'm just getting wind of some of the stuff now, like wars that like I heard you mention like that went on for years, like hundreds of years, even possibly like
yeah,
you know within on this land and stuff like that
yeah,
before like the 1700s and shit on you know or maybe even during.
absolutely. Peace, Enigma. How you
so
doing?
ba- so basically, that's why. Damn, that's loud. Basically, that's why there's no last names in like Bibles and stuff like that. Okay, makes a lot of sense now. So they came up with the last names for what that company or whatever that plantation or whatever it is they was doing. Like you said, shoemaker or shoemakers or right. That
You know,
makes a lot of sense.
Davenport and all these other names, and even our names that we had, they try to, you know, like I said, steal our identity. That's why you see these $5 Indians on reservations, and a lot of them are stealing our identity. They try to take our last names, right? And they might spell it wrong because we ain't let them know all the information. You know what I'm saying? So they had to, you know, put together what they had to put together, or assume how they what they assume. And so when you look at a lot of treaties, you can tell who signed them by how the last names are spelled, by how the names are spelled. Period. You can tell if they real or the fake. You know.
You know, I got a name right now that was interesting to me growing up, right? It was Wagner, right? Because I had my cousins was married to a Wagner, right? But his Wagner was spelled different from his the rest of his family, and I didn't know why. But when you look at the other Wagner, it's like Wagoner, like maybe like someone who like drives a car or something. I mean, that you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
Wagoner. But he changed it and made it Wagner, like. So it's like almost like you. That's how easy we could be thrown off. Like you guys saying.
All right. Hey, peace, Enigma. How you doing, brother?
Peace, peace,
Cooling,
peace.
cooling, cooling. How y'all doing? Keep that good talk going, man.
Scratch
Oh,
pipe.
you say what, bro?
Oh, okay. No, that's Enigma. What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm all right. I'm all right. How you doing, Chief?
I'm
AP,
great.
Jack.
Thank y'all for coming out, man. We definitely appreciate it.
No problem. You know what time it is. It's time to do work. So, we're going to be here.
That's what's up. So you just coming on the panel, man. What you think about the conversation so far?
Same old thing, But my thing about this whole debate thing is like, we know who we dealing with, y'all. We all know these people are Masons, man. The only thing that they really want is to try to curveball this whole movement. They know at the end of the day that what y'all talking about, what we've been talking about, what we've been researching, they can't defute it. So the only thing they can try to do is try to slow roll it by trying to have a debate. You know what I'm saying? You know them boys are snakes. You know them boys is low raking Masons. So they gonna try to do their best to try to derail it. Y'all got too much facts, man.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Cause I even had a private convo with Sankofa afterwards, and he was trying to tell me like they watching him. I'm like, who watching you? So is that why you're telling you can't speak facts? Cause they watching you? That's the only thing I can justify. And I got screenshots, so whenever necessary. Cause
Yo, he said, he's saying that the people are watching, so he can't tell the truth. That's what he said.
That's what I'm thinking. Though, why would you tell me that the people watching you? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, unless you done took that oath.
Yeah, you got to realize it ain't even just about the oath, right? What it is right? YouTube and all of this is entertainment too, right? So you got to realize when they get to a certain status, you see them because they have good intentions at first. The information be good. You feel what I'm saying? They're not just really misleading too far off of some of the information sometimes. You feel me? But then when they get to a certain status, them people come to them and let them know, boy, I give you this check, boy, we can go ahead and just, go ahead and push this agenda right here and become entertainment more, bro. But don't keep doing this. And I'm gonna make sure your family's straight. And motherfuckers is under pressure, bro. They take the money, man. I'm telling you, bro. It's just like a record deal. It's the new record deal. YouTube and things of this nature is the new record deal. They ain't giving you $1 million record deals no more, but they giving you deals, bro. Just mislead these people out here. You got a following. You got 80,000 people following you. Hey, man, you got a big influence on people. You feel what I'm saying?
That brother Clark, they shut that boy up. Nah, he be talking about girlfriends and shit. I be like, damn, bro, they set you up. Yeah. He
Yeah,
a touch
man.
down. He a smart dude, but he also a con artist. But he used to touch
And you
down on
call it
some
time,
shit.
whatever, bro. He was giving you valuable information if you took the information and utilize it, right? But then when he go to when they go to coming and showing up at everything that you doing, and you go to outside and you start seeing different signs, man. Understand this, bro. We understand this. We all gangsters, and we gonna stand up, bro. But when you go outside and you got your little one, I got my daughter and my 3 kids outside, and I'm looking behind me. I'm looking like I'm getting followed by 3 different cars, and they passing me on. They don't know what's going on. I'm riding, trying to drop my kids off to school. You think I'm going to drop my kids off to school? Man, I need to do something.
Yo, but listen, okay, listen, y'all. Listen, I've been an outlaw for a long time in my life, right? I had to watch the back all the time for a long period of my life, right? And I'm sure all you guys can relate to this. We're not doing anything. We're teaching. We're spreading information to our people. We're waking our people up. Now, if anybody got a problem with that, who cares? It's only the righteous thing to do,
I
man.
understand. We understand that now at this level, but when you get at a certain level, bro, I'm telling you, this what made them change. All I'm saying is this what made them change their agenda, bro. Because when they get to a certain level, when you get so many hits, you getting a check from YouTube anyways, and they want to keep the checks coming in because they giving up all their time to teach.
Well, okay. Well, can you give us an example of anybody that has done this? Because I can't. Right here. That got to a certain stage and then they started changing up. Y'all got
Shit, I
anybody?
see all of them. You talk about all of them. I mean, like when they get to a certain stage, when they get to
All right.
40 or 50,000 views, bro, they start getting a check. I done seen many people that if you get a deal, they go from your neighborhood and be cool as hell. But then when you see them out in the street, they acting like they really done did something. And all you did was get a $50,000 deal. But you think that you better. Money make people change, period. Whether it's for the good or the bad. I don't have to give you an example of that.
Yeah.
Yes, I never told you that when he was talking about wanting a van for the people, but went and bought a Benz instead.
Yo, hey, well, I mean, man, listen, man, I don't count the next man's money, man. You know, I feel we have to do things different. We have to represent the change that we want to see. You know what I'm saying? I do with community funding stuff or whatever, but we have to fund stuff that's building. You know what I'm saying? You know, it could be online, it could be a studio. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm with all that. You know what I'm saying? Like if we're trying to employ our people, that's what I'm saying. You know, now is Saneter employing people? Kinda. He puts, you know, he's kind of doing that. You know what I'm saying? And so we have to understand this is a financial thing. Also, they have built a lot of energy on this. Hey, can somebody, D-Red, can you put your email in the chat root? Root word too, man. I definitely want to get root word on here.
Yeah, I seen root word out there. Shout out to Root, man. I definitely want to build with the brother.
I just want to say this though, Root. Bro, we're past the more thing. Some of us aren't, you know what I'm saying? But we're past the whole more thing, man. We're moved past that, and we're trying to find the things that to help us build the next things that we fight all day about, or in the chat rooms, on panels about being Black, Negro, Moor. These are just words, man. These are word spells. We have transcended these spells, bro. So when somebody called me a Moor, I'm not gonna be mad. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm not in the Moor Science Temple, man. I don't fuck with them niggas that be kissing feet and shit, man. I don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? That's not my thing. I'm not here to blame brothers in the country right now that call themselves Moors with what happened in Ethiopia, what happened in the Congo. These are not the same people. You do any research on this, you know what I'm saying? SETI, you know what I'm saying? You would know that. You're not gonna just mislead people and say certain things. And y'all have we did a video on SETI last week. He's stuck.
Yo,
he hasn't moved past.
Though, bro. Not for nothing.
I would say he don't. Say he don't. He's been to Guatemala. He's been to these places. He's seen the Olmec. He the one showed us that they had braids in the back because nobody else was showing us the back of their heads. But he's the only one that did that. Like, yo, shout out to him for that. But he's stuck because he still thinks that they're from Africa.
Well, now, boom, here's the other caveat we got to deal with. We got some of these people out here with these big followers in these so-called Black conscious communities, that's so-called truth seekers and speakers that's saying now that the Olmecs and so forth were patriarchal society, so they mind wasn't right because you don't see any female heads. This is what they have said. Not my argument in particular because I'm still researching, so I could, rebut it if possible, but that's something, and then on top of that, I feel like that's creating distraction and diversion because if they are all male, I'm saying that wouldn't the males be the warriors, be the ones, or the priests, or the ones speaking like it is today? Because most of us are men on here, or males on here right now. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't get to understand the problem or how you could just assume that it's a patriarchal society based on Olmec heads. But I yield the floor.
Yeah, man. Well, I like I said, I feel like, once we could talk about all the historical stuff and the psychological stuff and stuff like that, at some point now we got to mobilize. You know what I'm saying? We're on these social network things to network, you know what I'm saying? Network on biz, network on certain things. And that's just what I feel that's what we have to do. So if you're on a panel with, or you're on a phone with a group of guys or a dude every day and y'all not making no money together, something might be wrong. You know what I'm saying? We're not brainstorming, you know what I'm saying, about how can we create factories to create jobs for our own people. We sit around waiting on Trump to build us a factory. That's not going to work.
I agree 100%, bro.
I have a problem with
100%.
I don't have a problem with dealing with Alibaba, but we're going to have to start making stuff here for ourselves.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we got to use the crutch at bare minimum and build our own, use the teachings, use all of that stuff.
you know, to and build from there. You know, we might have to, you know, like they say, you know, quote unquote, sleep with the enemy for a minute. You know what I mean? But you know, put a little in the baggie and a little in the purse and free yourself.
Yeah, we gotta flip the board over, man. It's sort of like we playing Monopoly, man, and they got all the properties, you dig?
Facts. And the banks.
And
What's
the
up?
bank and the jails. They got the
What's
banks,
up?
the jails, the schools, shit, the
I love
grocery
Monopoly.
store.
One of my favorite games, bro.
The whole
Yeah.
board game. They put the money back in the box after the game over.
That's because they got us playing the game, and we got to stop playing games and get serious about this shit. You feel me? Because
Yeah.
this shit ain't no
Facts.
game. You feel me?
That's why we
It's
gotta
true.
like you said, we now gotta build within. You know what I mean? Like I didn't see what Lex was trying to do with that Elite 500. I didn't really put any, you know, energy into looking into
My
it, but I
bad,
had
bro.
liked the idea. You
Well,
know,
check it out. 5000league.com is still up and running. I don't know if Lex is still a member or not. Shout out to Lex, man. It wasn't
Shout
Lex. Shout out to Ty Data. I think he's the founder of it. Some other people. So the Makisha app and stuff, all that stuff is still up and running. Like I said, this is support Black business, man. You know what I mean? So if it's $20 to support a business, right? That's $20 donation. Even if you don't never see anything that come back from it, but they're saying no, you're attached to this and you have input in this, and you have what are we going to do with this business that we're doing. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Todd Data, man. So check it out, 5000elite.com.
So can I ask you, Aboriginal brothers, have y'all been looking into land and trying to establish like some land for y'all community or things of that nature, or do y'all I mean, like, what's going on with that?
Well, some of us own land already.
Right.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out how can we make money on our land, because you still have maintenance, you still have taxes, you still have certain things that you have to pay. So, you know, some of us landlords and things of that nature, whatever. But, you know, I'm not one of them people that like to tell my business till it's over. Like, yo, I built it already. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
things like personally, you know what I'm saying, and individuals, but I do feel that we have to start networking together and say, yo, well, I'm not a farmer per se right now, you know what I'm saying? Like other things I'm trying to do, but I got some land that I can work with somebody to grow stuff on. You see what I'm saying?
Right. And I build, you know what I'm saying? That's the reason I was asking, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to get with some bros who really want to help build up and, man, like, need people who to build and got crews and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I'm trying to get into. You feel what I'm saying? Helping bros so we can build our stuff and we can live. Because I think if we work, at least we working for 10 years and things of this stuff, we should accumulate enough to sustain, have a nice house, and be able to have your family a place where y'all can always have. You feel what I'm saying? And still continue to live. Don't have to work every day for these people or for anything for that matter. You feel what I'm saying? Like we should be trying to build solar panel houses and solar energy sufficient houses and things of that nature where we can build for our women and single women that's out here. This is what the women and things are looking for us as men to do. So it's about uniting with us brothers out here who got like-minded minds and willing to go out there and do that. You know what I'm saying? Like if you in Cleveland or wherever you at, like, man, let me know, boy. I come out there and let's get this work. You know what I'm saying? For like nothing, like for nothing to work though. But like for like, let me come up there and help you. Let's build this community up. And I got a place for it. Yo, my little cousin who stay in Cleveland. It's like a work for it.
Right.
We got to learn it.
Right. Go ahead, Jack.
Go ahead, Chi. I'll let you go in on the tribe up.
No. No, we're talking about building right now, right? But, brother, where you at? Huey?
I'm in Atlanta.
Atlanta, okay. I'm in Vegas. Ab Powers in Tennessee. So we're in different places. So that's networking. So you saying, yeah, man, we got a project over here in Tennessee. And it's paying.
Yeah, man,
you know,
I'm in New York, man.
like,
I'm in
up,
Brooklyn.
you know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's definitely something that we should be using these airways for more. It's the network, man. That's absolutely, it's a fact, man. But Ab Powers is a carpenter. You know what I'm saying? So now you're a carpenter. We got two different people. You know, I feel like this right here now. Thinking back, right when I a few years back, I went back and was doing some construction work, right? I don't have no skills. I had to start at the bottom. So I feel like that's thing. I'm an older man, so like I'm like, yo, this is for young men. This type of work, you know what I'm saying? So why not? Shout out to Mama Rika, man. She has an apprenticeship program with people like any young men or whatever that want to get into construction. Come on over here and work with us. You know what I'm saying? And learn a skill. Once you have a skill, you can work anywhere in construction. And I
Yes,
feel
sir.
like
Give them a trade at a young age because they took trades out of schools and things of that nature. They don't teach us to build the things of that nature.
We got to start our own online trade schools, our own, not no damn comedic schools. What the hell we gonna build with that? How about some damn, construction schools or some engineering schools? Let's see that. Like you
Some
got the
farming
engineers,
schools and
we don't
teach
need
the
to go
women
to
how
Rose
to
Coleman.
and stuff.
We
Yeah.
can form our own engineering school.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
That's what I
Don't
want to see.
focus
I
on
want
the
to see something.
money, man.
Huh?
Yeah, don't focus on the money. That's what's killing us, man. Said don't focus on the money. That's what's killing us. What we got to focus on, instead of leaving our kids' houses and shit, we got to leave our kids company so that company can keep going. Because it's almost over for us. So that we can get our kids and their grandkids, and then them grandkids leave that same company. You talking 3-4 generations of a carpet cleaning company.
Yeah, that's
4
assets.
generations of mechanic stuff. Yeah. All we was taught, buy a house, leave it to your kids. No, it's bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? Leave them a greenhouse if you're gonna leave them anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and another thing too, though, I think what happened to like our parents' generations, right? They got socialized to be super fly and all these characters, you know what I'm saying, and get away from these acres of land that they got. They want to move to Chicago, Detroit, and live the fast life. It's all socialization. So when all these things came in, the drugs came in. All these things came in to destroy our families. So I feel like us as our generation are the ones to repair this, man. We are changing history with what we're doing. And so, brother, you are Aboriginal too. You know what I'm saying? We say you're Aboriginals. We're all Aboriginal. We're just the first inhabitants of this land. So when people say that like we're just something separate or we're something else, well, no, you Aboriginal Christian, you're Aboriginal Moors, you're Aboriginal Masons, you all these things, but we put all those other things before us, our ancestors. And that's what we've been socialized away from. So what we're doing, we're trying to change that socially, because it's all social. Once we can change it socially, the laws will change because people are going to move different. Even white people, once they understand, listen, man, they're confused, just like we're confused. So I love telling them that we're the first inhabitants of this land. We're not migrants. We're not immigrants. You are.
And once we get it, we can start with the social changing. Once we start getting our household together, right? We can start working with certain things with our families and certain remedies and certain formats for them to be able to understand. It may be easier for them to digest so they can go spread the information, but it starts at home. If everything's secure at home and the foundation built there, you'll be able to implement it to another family or to another neighbor, right? And that's pretty much how we're gonna have to start doing it. I work on it at my house all day. My family know exactly who we are. They can go into the history. So we just gotta break it down to them. So that's who we around. If you can't persuade your family in the truth, you ain't gonna be able to sway any damn body. It's as simple as that.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. But yeah, man, that's just pretty much what we to do, though.
Yo,
Go ahead,
yo,
Chief.
all right, yeah, bro.
Oh, go ahead, Jack. Go ahead, Jack. What's going on, brother? I ain't heard you in a second.
Oh, nah, I think what's the dude name? Ty Gemini or whoever. I think he wanted to say something.
Okay.
Now I was just making sure my mic was working, man. I just appreciate Ken bringing us on over here, man. This is a great deal for today, man. I've been waiting to hear some talk like this, man, for a little while, man. I'm glad to hear you brothers today, man. Respect.
Yeah, man, I feel good about this because like part of the story too, like how I was finding out about this. When I found out about it, I started going hard because at the time I had on the African chain, bro. You feel what I'm saying? And like I got pictures on my Facebook, everything. Like I came from Miami when LeBron was playing down there. Went down there for the summer and came back off the plane. I had on the African chain, and I actually met this woman on Facebook who put me in this group called Beckford's and some shit like Beckford Family or whatever, right?
and a whole bunch of people I don't know. I'm like, there's a lot of people with our last name. But then there was this BBC documentary in there, like a YouTube link called Back versus Slavery. And I watched the joint and I seen it and I was like, oh, all right, cool. But I was still under the what you call it, cognitive dissonance, maybe of the out of Africa theory and stuff. So I didn't peep game. And then after I got wind of the information and like, all right, this is being like, we being from here and all that. I watched it again, bro. And when I watched it, I'm looking and I'm like, let me watch this shit with my open eyes, bro. And the people are already in Jamaica, right? When the boats are coming over with other black folks and not really a bunch of them, right? But the basically they show it like they come over in the boats and enslave the people on their own plantations, their own sugarcane lands and whatever. And for like 300 years, right? This is like from the documentaries of like Peter Beckford, William Beckford, one of these dudes, right? From England. And he's like, yo, these people might turn and revolt one day. Like, we should bring in them Africans. This is in the documentary, right? We should bring in Africans. We should bring the other people in to do the work now because these people probably going to start to flip, man. And when they try to do that, you see in this documentary that the people wasn't even making it back over healthy. A lot of them was having like all kind of diseases. Some of them who did make it over was fleeing and running away and stuff like that. So it was unsuccessful, and that really broke the slavery shit down and really stopped it from being what it was, according to the story that they put in regards to my last name. So that really hit me, hard when I was finding out about this shit. So it's like when I see the same correlations with like Columbus and these different people that was coming over, how they try to be all kind and cool, and then they flip the mode, it seems like, or whatever, because it's like we still today are just, we let people do whatever. Like we're like, it seems like we're just with whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like until like you piss us off, then it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like we could take it there, but we don't want to take it there. And it's like, for that reason, like compassion is like we get this rug just swept from underneath our feet. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's looking like to me.
Well, here's the thing, right? When they say that they brought black people on the boats, right? Well, the conquistadors were black.
Right.
Or the Europeans were black at this time, the 1400s, 1500s, 1600s. They didn't start getting took over like the 1600s, going into the 1700s, stuff like that. So Europe wasn't, the whole race thing wasn't what we understand what it to be. Like, so when they talk about Cristobal Colon or Christopher Columbus, from any of my research, Christopher Columbus didn't exist. He's an idea. He's people, the Knights of Columbus, right? So, but let's just go off of this. The captain of the boat was a Moor. So they'll tell you stuff. They'll try to put it in there. You see what I'm saying? So therefore, he was the leader of the ship. Everybody else was under him. So that would have been included Christopher Columbus if he existed. So we're just in fantasy. These are stories, y'all. So they'll even tell you something like, oh well, they came and enslaved the people on their land, right? Well, they came and just started taxing the people on their land. That's when you're a servant of them. You're a serf of the crown now.
Right.
That's what people was fighting against. Now, not necessarily. They had penance, and they were sending the prisoners of wars into the Caribbean islands, and the prisoners of wars from the Caribbean islands, they was taking them to the mainland. So it's called blackbirding.
Right.
They were not going to Africa, stealing people, and then bringing them back over here until they start setting up colonies in Africa and start having wars in Africa. Y'all see how all this work, man? These people are playing the game. Man.
I just read that in the last book. I just read by John Henry Clark.
Multi-race, like you think it could have been just a group of people, or is it all one people from one land? Or do you think they all got together like the army do nowadays, where it be all different races representing one thing? Or do you think all of them was Caucasians, or all, you know what I mean? It seemed like they would have to have a couple snitches. It seemed like they would have to have a couple deceivers. It seemed like they would need something inside to just start shipping people across the waters. You know what I mean? From any island for that matter.
Well, think of it from this perspective, man. You know, they had laws. Thomas Jefferson. Here's the thing, right? We have sources, right? We go to our sources, and they don't have these sources, right? So we have the law that outlawed the importation of Negroes into the 13 colonies. But what's crazy is you got Negroes like on the other parts of this country that are dealing with the French, that are dealing with the Spanish. They didn't get, so the British didn't take over the rest of this landmass that's called North America or the United States of America until the mid 1800s. So we have a clear understanding of what they were doing. And then they even pushed us even further out once they got the Louisiana, area. So because they want that port. So of course they're going to displace us and send us on a trail of tears. You know what I'm saying? All these other things, man. So it's just, y'all, man, listen, just know that they're lying. So once you understand, you know what it is. Now you say, okay, well, my grandmother told me that we're from here. She didn't know anything about Africa, right? And her mother told her this, and her mother told her this, blah, 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 right? So we have that story. So now they bring in roots in African-American studies and DNA. That's it. They don't have anything else, and all those things are fictional. Roots is fictional. DNA is fictional. It should be only used for entertainment purposes only. So when a motherfucker tell you, hey, I probably can do this, you can't bank on that. Oh, this is a probability. Oh, the accuracy of this is less than 0.1%. I'm done, y'all. That's negative. So we're playing. Listen, if you was sitting back, right, and watching this thing the way we looking at it, right, you'll be like, yo, them people are dumb as fuck, crazy as fuck. That's insanity to keep doing the same thing. We're enriching other people to kick us in our asses. It's going to be pretty soon. We're not going to be able to give them anything at the corner store. You ain't going to have nothing to give them. They done took everything. These motherfuckers don't even give back to Little League. Have you ever seen any of these so-called Asian soul food restaurants giving back to the Little Leagues? Ever? Ever. They don't support you. And these people go out of their way. I've been doing this since 1979. These people go out of their way to not do business with us. Even if you try to hide behind other people, they figure out who owns it. They don't want to enrich you. They understand the social political war that's going on, the economic war that's going on. That's the only war we're on. Because you niggas
crazy thing is
in a fruit fight. None of you niggas. None of these organizations, think about it. All throughout history, they never put hands on them. They only put hands on each other. Niggas is mad right now talking about putting hands on each other over their information.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, we're gonna bang on the information, man. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, we ain't trying to take it there, but you know what I'm saying? We here to uplift our people, man. And anybody that's in the way of that, it's a problem.
Facts.
In real life, not online, in real life, on
Real
the
shit.
real life. Fuck what you talking about, man. Like, so if you fucking with me, you can't be fake. Because it's real shit going on and you're going to get exposed. So that's how I roll, man. And then, so don't be on here teaching fake shit and doing all this other shit because you're going to get exposed. Because the real is right now. We ain't trying to play with people no more. And we need you brothers. Because you guys are strong. I watch you guys shows, man, and what you guys are bringing to the table. This is another piece of the puzzle, bro. Yeah, bro.
Facts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. When I saw you on Saneter show that day, I was like, oh man, you're going through what I went through in person when I was up there. Like I was like, they like you went up there with sincerity and they know how to play games. Like they know how to play real word games and loop shit and do dumb shit and got a whole team of people that's down with some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to call in and all that. Like, yo, this shit is crazy because they wicked, man. They wicked for that, if you ask me, bro. Or
you right. Because I remember when I went up to New York and I was trying to get a hold of the H.O.K. It was probably like 5-6 years ago, and I called him. I guess it was his line or whatever. I'm just trying to get some books and stuff, chit chat. But the dude was calling, he talking to me as if he trying to check me like I'm an Asian or something, or if I'm like his big brother trying to see what's going on. So definitely, they know the games they play, dog.
Yeah, man. That's why we ain't with them games, man. We just gonna bulldog right over that shit. Keep sending arrows their way with information. And people want to keep saying we don't show sources and we ain't showing primaries. Yo, how you not check out nobody's videos? Godly, we putting out a lot of content. You know what I mean? Proving it. And it's a lot of it's repetitive. Some of it in different ways. A lot of us are saying the same thing, showing different sources. So, you know, we can get into this information, but the reason they ain't funding us and they funding everybody else because they can send everybody else back to wherever the fuck they came from. It's laws that can be uh written and created for situations like this, but we can't go nowhere. If they let us start building, it's over with. Once they fund, it's over with. They can't send us nowhere. This is our shit. So we just gonna have to keep doing what we doing to stack up on what we need to create a social economic pathway for our people. And it starts at home. It starts within your community. It starts within.
That's real.
Yo, to add on to what you're saying, all these dudes, you know, in our communities that's online that be promoting and trying to bang on each other, I'm calling that agent movements, man. Because unless you're bringing about the truth, then I'm calling that an agent move because I'm gonna just say that a lot of our people are affected, and if they're not bringing about this type of information and other truths like health and probably like even earth cosmology, all that stuff is cool, but all this astrology fake and really because there's black people that use that kind of thing to try to make their way. Like you can't prove it fake or real. So like why are we even wasting time and having people, you know, spending their time thinking that they're gonna get some truth out of you when all you're doing is looping them into some BS. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm tired of that. Like I'm on these panels and not even on these panels, like even just looking in these chats and seeing people just being like followers and just be riding the hype, riding the wave. And if somebody don't, you know, the host don't like you and they say something about you, whatever, and everybody anti you or you got an opinion against what they saying, everybody anti you, people gotta start thinking, bro. Like, you know what I mean? So I appreciate, you know, you brothers for coming out and having these panels because, you know, like I said, I was researching this information before flat earth stuff came to my mind, and like it seemed like everybody started jumping on that wave and kind of like forgot that we didn't even finish this wave. So jumping into this whole everybody unity or everybody is one, I'm saying how everybody one when we not in place. We got to be in place before there's any unity amongst everybody else. You know what I'm saying? No hate, no shade, but everybody got their shit going on, bro. Everybody got their shit going on and can say, just like on Dave Chappelle's show. You know what I'm saying? When he say, you know, the Asian people, we drafted this person. We can't say that, you feel me? Because we ain't established. Until we established, then I don't want to hear that unity shit. That's just my opinion. I want to hear how y'all feel about that.
That's real, bro.
Yeah, most of these people, man, that I've been dealing with on these on this internet stuff, like guys like the last people I just met over the last 3 months, it seemed like they was just protecting their brand. They really wasn't trying to teach nothing. They'd get a topic that's interesting and stand on it even when they prove them wrong. To me, that's not a good teacher. Once you prove me wrong on something, I'm changing my narrative that second. I ain't gonna be the one to say no. I don't know. We
Facts.
we we come out of Africa. You know what I'm saying? Just by on this panel, I was both ways with it. Like I was both ways with the slave shit, this, that, and the third. But once I sat down and thought about it, you know how many ships they would have to bring over 500,000 people? You know,
Facts.
you know how much order you would have to have. We can't even control our kids. You know, black folks ain't no easy people to just get in order. We don't stand in single file lines. So just to stop the chaos, which would have
Man,
took, ah man,
it's so much with it. Like, how can you carry that many people? How can you store water? I mean, it's a lot of shit that goes into that whole narrative that just it ain't true. So, you know, we just gotta work off what we know. And yeah, man. I'm
and
glad
that's
y'all.
why they teach us that shit. That's why
Yeah,
my bad. That's why they teach us that shit when we little, when we don't got the common sense to weigh it out on a platter. You know what I'm saying? When you 8, 9 years old, I think I heard Tazariak saying that the Lone Ranger was black. You know what I'm saying? They even painted him, so now we thinking all the cowboys
Bass Reeves. Bass Reeves, whatever his name was.
black Indians. You know what I mean? So they had to throw that cowboy narrative in there to act like they been here already. But really, nah. we was the real cowboys and we was the real Indians. One of us upheld for fuck niggas that's doing fuck shit in the communities or whatever. That's what the cowboy was for. They just came and painted them white. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Like they whitewash everything, man. The elite, not white people. The elite. So I don't want nobody to be thinking I'm saying white people because it's not them. You know what I'm saying? It's it's the powers that be. So we
That's a
gotta
fact.
take heed to Huey's sign, power to the people, and that's what we about to do, man. The next 20 years, it's gonna be a nice turnover. What?
Hey, bro, that long range report you were saying, that was all based on, I think his name was Bass Reeves, yeah, I think it was Bass Reeves or something like that. A black cowboy. Hollywood took that story and made it white.
Yeah, you go down there to Texas, man, you'll be surprised how many black people be at the rodeo and how many black people be actually in them pens with them bulls, man. They all
That's where the word cowboy come from.
I know it.
Right.
So how do we get the land back? So how we get the land back? It seems like we're gonna need some money. Ain't no way around that.
Well,
Gonna need some money.
First, we got to get ourselves under control. We can't own property when we are property still. If we still considering ourselves under their property, we can't own nothing for nothing anyways. That's the biggest problem with what's going on. We have an identity crisis, so we don't know who we are. So we can't own our property. If we knew who we are and who we were and claiming this land as our property, this is our land. Period. The banks can't own land. A bank can't own your car. You feel me? Only a true living person can own the property. So once we understand that this is our land and we the original people of this land, we can get our land back. You know what I'm saying? But until that's the biggest things that's going on. I think that's what these brothers movement is pretty much about. I mean, all our movement pretty much. And I keep saying them, but I'm just new to y'all panel. I ain't trying to separate myself. I'm just,
Gotcha. That's what's up. We definitely welcome, man, to the panel as well as the fight, man. Because this is what it's really about, man. Honoring the ground that you're standing on, the ancestors that bled on this ground, man. You know what I'm saying? Even prior to any invaders. So we have to, man. I seen Professor George Simmons and Dr. Ben. They did a lecture on this very subject in the University of Alabama in Birmingham, and Professor Simmons said that. The interviewer was like, well, how's this going to change anything? What comes out of this? And he said the first thing is that it takes away the inferiority complex that we have. It restores pride. Like, you guys really don't have pride in Africa like that. Think about it. It's a socialization that is new because you didn't come up with that. And anything that's socialized with this whole thing is negative.
People trying to reach out and touch us from Africa. You know what I mean? It's common sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? You have people that's like, I got family over there. They came and took my ancestors, such and such and such and such, and took them over there to America, and I wanna see them. Don't know Africans do that, man. They act like you're not one of them, so you probably not. That's even more validity to the whole thing.
Ain't nobody made no boats. I mean, listen, man, all these wars that they be talking about.
How they try to stand on it is this. They say everybody come out of Africa. Okay, well, if we're going to be specific like that, first man and woman, which we can't prove because we don't know what's under the ice and we ain't found everything in Africa. So it's still stuff left to find. But they try to use that narrative. Well, since everybody came out of there, that's where y'all come from. But they don't know that they twisting the story saying we came on them boats and we didn't. You know what I mean? So, you know how that goes.
I think that could be the main story. Like, people be mad at me, right? But because I say slavery's fake. And they be like, hey, Chief, I'm mad at you. And I'll be like, well, why don't y'all just do some research on it? Because when I first did research on slavery, right? I went into it thinking, oh, slavery happened 400 years, right? So then it was a timeline thing. And it started showing you certain things on the timeline.
and it didn't go to 400 years. And from my calculation, it was only like 75 to 90 years of so-called slavery in America. That could be so-called slavery because Britain didn't have slavery in their colonies. See how that worked? They had apprenticeships, they had indentured servitude, and they had, which was the cheapest, would just be capitalism. Because think about it. If I own all you men on this panel, right? I have to pay for your families, your food, clothes, and all this other. I could just pay you pennies or share with you, give you some of the crop and things like that you guys, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm good. So I'm not gonna work off of the most expensive way to do business. That's dumb. So they didn't do away with slavery based off of their best interest. They did it, off of our best interest. They did it off of their best interest. And they're lying about slavery. It's not real. It's fake. And I can go through the Constitution to prove my point. I can go through the census to prove my point. I can go to the laws to prove my point. These fuckers can't prove shit. And here's another thing, right? And here's Henry Louis Gates. They throw their foot in their mouth all the time. He did a DNA test on Puffy. Went up Puffy's father's line, found out he wasn't slaves. So Puffy was like, he think he the only one. So he was like, I feel sorry for all the other people that were slaves. I was thinking to myself, like, nigga, you a slave now.
Facts.
Right now, you dumbass.
Facts.
Peace.
Talk about.
Peace, D.
You a
Ray.
rich
How you doing, brother?
Say what?
I was just saying peace to D. Ray. I see he came in. Peace, brother. How you doing?
Red blue collar scholar. What it do, man? Hey, we got Kansu Seshmanzu in the building. What's up, bro? How y'all doing, man? Kansu is an Indian Pan-African, so I'm glad to have him on the board. So.
Shit, what it do, man?
Yo, what's going on, brother? What's going on? No, you ain't gonna get away with that one.
No, what's up, bro? How you doing today, man?
I'm good, man. I just figured I wanted to speak. I heard I tuned into the show and I heard all the inaccurate accounts. So I figured I'd come in and just have a respectful conversation. You know.
That's what's all right. Well, let's hear this.
Shit.
Yeah, I have a couple questions.
What are your questions, Mr. Kansu?
Yeah, language for the Aboriginals, the autonomous ones. What is it?
You're speaking it right now. It's American. American English is our language, brother.
English. So that would be a dialect.
Of course, sure.
Okay. So its origins of American languages is English with Latin Vulgate.
So they say.
Yeah.
So, right. So they say
America, brother. Latin okay, go ahead, brother.
I'm glad you told me. You said that, brother. I don't know your name, respectfully. I wish somebody could clarify what a they and a them is. Who are these theys and thems? Who are them? Who are those people?
We got smart people, we got dummies, we got righteous people, and we got unrighteous people. So they would be unrighteous people, they would be dummies. So that can answer that question.
Okay.
You good?
Okay. Yeah, I can accept that. I appreciate that. I just want to be, I'm critical, bro. So the terminology Aboriginal, where did that come from?
I think it started out in French first. We do the etymology of it all the time, but it only means the first inhabitants, my brother.
Well, yeah. And that started in 1660.
Okay.
And usually inhabitants that were colonized by Europeans were called Aboriginals. So to be respectful to the terminology and the fact that it's used as an adjective, specifically to the Australian people.
Oh, wait. So you also know it's used as a noun too, right?
Yeah, no, well, I've never known it to be used as a noun.
Well, you know what? We have the advance of being able to screen share and to show the etymology of it. I could read it, but we want to be able to show everybody.
Well, if you let me finish, this is what I wanted to say.
Go ahead.
When it was used as a noun, as an original inhabitant, called the Autonicus, That's attested from 1760. So from 1760 on, Autonicus became a synonym of Aboriginal and then used as a noun, going into 1848 and 1859. So I wasn't just saying it wasn't used as a noun. I'm only speaking of the etymology of the word Aboriginal, which started in the 1660s.
You said autochthonous?
Yeah, autochthonous, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
Well,
so
actually,
when
yeah.
autochthonous was used, then it became a noun.
In the
Because the
1600s, in the 1600s, we were referred as American, right? Which is an adjective which was applied to the Aborigines and copper color races found in America. So at 1600s, between 1590 to 1640s, right, we was applied as American. So yeah, you're technically right. We weren't being called Aboriginals till then.
Okay, I'm sharing my screen right here. I don't know about all that.
Okay. Well,
This is etymology online dictionary. This is the definition of the word Aboriginal and its inception. I'm speaking specifically and critically. I'm not trying to claim that it don't exist and it's not this and it's not that. I'm not being biased or anything like that.
Absolutely, you're 100% correct by the term Aboriginal, but like I said, it was originally applied in 1519.
Well, then show me evidence of that.
I'm screen sharing right now, sir.
Yeah, show me evidence of that.
I'm screen sharing.
Right. And then when we go to Autonicus,
autochthonous. Autochthonous. Okay.
Well, some people say autochthonous, some people say Autonicus. Native Aboriginal Indigenous, starting from 1805.
Yo,
So,
okay. So can you pull up American? Can you pull up American real fast, though, brother? Because what we're trying to say is that they were calling us Americans before they was calling us Aborigines.
That's
exactly. They were calling who? Who is us?
Us, the righteous people. Remember, us is the righteous people. Them are the unrighteous people. They are the invaders. We are the home team. We're the home team. They're away team. So
see this
you're
right
either
here,
go for the away team or you're for the home team, because we're the home team, brother. This is
okay. Well, you'd have to show me scientifically, or
I could do that too.
The home team. But what I'm saying is that's an opinion.
No. I got facts over here. No, the facts are that they start calling us Americans in 1570, which describe Aborigines. Hold on.
Which American? Which American? Are you saying when American is used as a noun?
Noun, adjective, it doesn't matter. It's the same.
No, it doesn't.
I'm screen sharing right now, so you can look at it.
It's still
grammar doesn't matter, bro. See, I'm sharing my screen because
hey, y'all remember we talked about the word game, the word spells. This is one of these conversations that go around the circle.
Word spells. You see the words on the screen. The one that you're talking about is 1570. I didn't just build this website.
Okay, no. Hey,
we're using it as a noun.
Okay, well, we can use it as an adjective or a noun. It doesn't matter.
It also can be used as an adjective to describe a noun.
That's fine. That's fine.
So if you understand the grammar, I'll click on this right here. If you understand the grammar and understand that it's talking about the Aboriginal inhabitants, certain groups of people also used it in the form of being an adjective because you have social political description.
Well, even when they use it as an adjective, it was only pertaining to people or residents of North America, right? Before European colonization. So when you use it in its noun, right, it's telling you exactly who the people are, right?
Yeah, Europeans can't say, they can say they're native to America. They can say they're even Americans now, but what they can't say is that they Aborigines. They can't say that. And they can't say that they're original Americans. Trump is still an immigrant from Russia.
Okay.
Let's get that. Okay.
Okay.
So we're not immigrants. They're the away team. We're the home team. Keep that in mind. And what you're saying is you're not proving anything, but you're just proving.
Okay. Well, no, it is proving something because when we talk about words, because I'm asking these questions for discovery. I'm not asking questions to disprove. That's not my concern. If we're talking about language, and I heard a couple of words used like whitewash and the white man and using his stuff and blah, blah, blah. And we know that in English grammar, there's synonyms, there's antonyms, there's homonyms. You said that we're American and we speak a language called American. So we have to follow the rules. And the rules of those languages is called grammar. So we can't just discredit the fact. And if you look at American used as a noun, you said the 1500s, Well, it was used as a noun and an adjective 20 years apart from one another. And when it was originally used, they were talking about modern Latin Americanus from America, which is the original sense now the Native Americans. When we look at native, indigenous, so forth and so on, are all synonyms on one another. They're not different. They're just synonyms because we're speaking American. That's why I asked you directly and critically, so I would not be misrepresenting what you are saying.
They
so
are
this
not
is what
synonyms.
I'm asking. This is what I'm asking. This is my ultimate question here and what I'm asking, respectfully. What is the word that was used for the original inhabitants before these words? Because these are American words. So we are ancient people. What is the word in language, lingua franca, of those original people prior to using the American language?
Well, one of the words is Hawatha. You got Hawatha, Hawatha. You also got Cheme Koman, Chemo. I think, yeah, Chemocoman, something like that. Or it's either Chemoman. It's one of those ways. Chime-Koman or Chime.
It's not Hiawatha? You sure it's not Hiawatha?
Yeah, that made, yeah, Hiawatha.
I'm going to share my screen again.
Hold on. It may be Hawatha or Hiawatha. I'm not really sure. I ain't near my laptop.
So once I got to address right? The question. Hold on. The question that you're asking is asking what was the name of what did the people call themselves prior to the Europeans coming? Is that what you're asking, brother?
Right. Prior to the European colonization.
Okay. So that's the same question. We can ask that same question to everybody else, right? So we didn't call ourselves no countries. We called ourselves who our family was and stuff. So you should know this concept.
Well,
we're the people of the land. We're the people of the land.
Shoot, Consul's on here. What's up, brother Consul?
I'm asking a simple question.
No, you're asking a weird question. That's a trick question.
Okay.
But
give me the evidence
any name that we give you, you're gonna go look it up and say, oh, well, that came from these people.
That's not what I'm supposed to do.
Olmec. I got you, but that's my point though. It's a circular conversation doesn't mean anything because we still get back to American. That's us, 1570. The Aboriginals of this land. That only thing that means the first inhabitants. Go look up first.
Okay, so contextually, then if we say that, I don't have a problem with that, Brother Chief. I don't have a problem with that. Never did. But this is my problem. It's called conflation. If you're going to talk about whitewashing and using the white man's resources, but you use his resources to define yourself, and you say that you have a nationality and you have an ethnicity developed from this nationality, then you should have record of your ancient history, your ancient culture, and your lingua franca to define specifically who you are.
Well, in a sense, it's true, but wait, in a sense, it's true, but it was taken away. But go ahead, Consul, continue on and speak.
Yeah, what's up, brother?
Yeah, but
I don't know about these. I don't know about but what I can say, I'm at work, so y'all gotta excuse the noise. But the language that the people that I know I came from spoke was Indi Biati.
Yes, I'm familiar. I'm familiar with Indi.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's an Apache language.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I don't know what some of these I don't know. Like I said, I don't know when people say my grandmother told me X, Y, and Z, or my grandfather, whoever told me whatever. But that's the only thing they can tell you. For me personally, that wasn't good enough. My grandmother tell me the language. My grandmother told me the language. She spoke the language.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. You see what I'm saying? So when she told me Geronimo was my cousin, and she was able to tell me the language, not only just the language, what the difference between the clans and what made up the Apache Federation, how many nations it takes to make a federation, how many tribes it takes to make a nation. She told me all of that. So she didn't just tell me one thing. So I think people kind of gotta, I don't know, I don't know.
Yo, I was reading an old newspaper clipping, right, about Sons of the Confederacy, right? And what happened was in Texas, since we're in Texas now,
a black man that was a Confederate soldier who fought with the white soldiers, right? With them, him and his son were killed in their field in Texas while they were working. Now, this is after the war's over and stuff like that, right? So in the newspaper, the white men that fought with him were mad at the white men that killed them and said that they were going to kill them. They put in the newspaper, they're like, yo, we're going to find you guys and we're going to get you back. You know what I'm saying? For killing our brother. So I'm like, yo, didn't all white people hate black people in the South during the Confederacy, stuff like that? And I also found other articles. Now, these are primary sources because they're newspaper articles in that time period, okay? And it was a speech by Frederick Douglass. And he was talking about the black men who were fighting for the Confederacy. That's how he was recruiting black men to fight for the North, to fight against the black men. And they were talking about how good of a sharpshooters that they were. They were killing the Union soldiers. Y'all see what I'm saying? So the Django and all that stuff, y'all know he never got trained to shoot. He just got a gun and he started shooting. You see how it works? So they put science in there, man. They know what they're doing when they put these movies out. You just gotta extract the science and leave the bullshit. Like, okay, they'll play a movie. Instead of the guy being black, they'll depict the Romans, the Achilles, and all these other people as being white guys. Braveheart. These guys were black. Mel Gibson should have been black in Braveheart. The War of the Roses and all these other things, right? All these wars, the French and Negro War, because they didn't call us Indians. When they came here, they said Negroes of the land, Negros de terra, because they didn't speak English. So 300 years later, they changed it to English words, black or Moor, blah, 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 Indian. They call people in India, even if you look up the word Indian right now, it goes back to India first. So now it's a sense of the Native Americans, Consul. So even when we're reading these etymology online, you still have to have discernment for what you're reading, brother.
Most definitely. I do have this. When you say discernment, we're dealing with language. Discernment, if you want me to pull up the definition of discernment, it's comprehension.
So you don't think language are words or spells, brother? You don't think words are spells?
You mean words are spells?
Yeah.
No, I don't have any facts of that. No. I understand that words
we believe that.
Because people can be pragmatic and they can be demagogy. I know that.
How you gonna have words to be put on a piece of paper and get people killed? Words can be put on a piece of paper to build a skyscraper. Words can be put on the paper to cause wars. Words can be put on paper to divorce people. You see what I'm going with this? So words are power, brother.
What you're saying, and that's why education, knowledge, understanding, I put in a regimental form. That's why we learn things in a regimental fashion, because we have to be educated and be aware of certain things. We just can't go off of intuition. We also have to have evidence, and we have to have a process in which we assimilate and learn things.
Can I ask a question? You're a smart guy, right? You're a smart Pan-African, right? What evidence do you have that you're African?
My genetic evidence, my parental evidence, and my ancestral evidence. There's also evidence that
no. Can you explain those? Because you're too vague.
Genetically, genetics have advanced to the point that we've been able to all but eliminate polio, black measles, and other diseases that inflicted us years ago. Those same genetics have advanced in the way that hematologists and archaeologists study man. So now in 2018, genetics are very pivotal in the understanding of the existence of human beings. Historically, even through archaeological evidence, we're able to understand that. When I'm talking about through my parents, I'm talking about hereditarily, because they keep things on record and they speak to me in a cultural sense to help me identify with my ethnicity, not my nationality. And then when we start talking about the historical markers, these are things that are left behind and studied by historians. Everything is not considered fact because you can pull up information. These are repeated, tested things that create a consistent result. Now, there are still things that are unearthed, because before I want to finish and say this, Brother Chief, that when we talk about people that are native or indigenous, or aboriginal to this land, yes, we do have that bloodline in us as well. It's not just the end all be all. When we're talking about the out of Africa theory, something that was so ancient, we're talking about modern humans. But genetically, beyond your great grandparents' parents, then it's a toss up as to who you're related to, regardless.
So you telling me that DNA is pertaining to a particular landmass? They got a way to use DNA to link you to a particular landmass? Is that what you're telling us?
No, what I'm saying is the reason why the land masses come up is the methodology in which DNA is tested. DNA is tested based on the repetitiveness of markers on the allele within the gene. If that repetition continues, then they look at where they took the sample from and how many times it repeats itself as far as a marker. And then they associate it with the landmass. They don't pick the landmass prior to. They look at the marker and the allele that is the marker.
And just to be clear on a few things, your genetic testing that you're talking about, what type of genetic testing are you talking about?
I just said
genealogy.
No,
DNA
genealogy is not. That's not DNA testing.
He asking you what, your paternal or your mother's side, your father's side, your mother's side. Did you do both?
Oh, you can do both. The Y is a little bit more general because they use sex chromosomes. Those are Y chromosomes. Those are sex genes. And the mtDNA or the maternal DNA is DNA that is consistent and does not change as, mutations occur. As you breed and give birth to other humans. So the mtDNA stays consistent.
So question, right? So what is your whole premise on coming up here showing us the Aborigine? We know that the Aborigines is not that's what they called us. Just like a lot of these other words. My whole premise is that you guys are leading a crusade trying to prove that we African when none of y'all are from the Afri tribe. None of y'all from the Afri tribe.
Let me answer one question at a time. Bro. First off, this isn't new to me. I don't know your age. I'm 48.
I'm 42.
The Aboriginal movement has come in waves every 5 to 10 years. This isn't nothing new.
Okay.
I am and still a part of the Washita Nation.
Okay.
I helped build it. I don't have any problem with my Aboriginal history, but I also know that I also have an African history. That's inevitable.
So how can you prove that, though?
Hold on a second. Because of the geographical displacement of the diaspora of African people.
Okay. Now stay with me. Stay with me right there. Stay with me right there. Just stay with me right there. All right, stay with me right there. Let's just take a walk real quick. They brought over 380,000 people. How many people? How many black? Let's say we only using the term so people can identify this as an identifier. How many black Indians do you think was on the seaboard from Nova Scotia all the way out to the Caribbean? And the 380,000 that they brought here to North America. We're not talking about nowhere else on the diaspora because you speak English, I speak English, so obviously we from here in North America. So my question is, it was 20 times the amount of black Indians that was here than any Africans that came here.
Okay, I need you to clarify because I'm ignorant to that. What is a black Indian?
Okay, well, the Aborigines or the people who was classified. Now, when we go back and we go back in the Smithsonian Institute, since y'all like sources and you like people who do empirical data and all this other stuff, they know and they say that modern Native Americans look like Japanese, Korean, and and Chinese people. But the first ones look like Africans, Australian, and South Pacific Islands. I'm talking about them people. The Lusias, the Nayas.
Let me clear something up right quick, brother.
What?
Let me clear something up right there. That would not be true if we are talking biology. Now you're talking biology.
But what is biology? How can we talk? So you telling me because they take a 2 million? Listen, first of all, common sense will tell you that if they tell you that they came here to put you under their judgment, you don't see all of the 13 colony tribes got the last names of these Europeans. None of the people.
You jumping everywhere. I can't
because you said geology though.
You going from 13 colonies to phenotype.
So you're saying okay,
okay,
let me clarify myself. You saying geology? You saying because they test these mongoloids
No,
on
I
these
said,
reservations?
I said biology.
All right, biology. So tell me some
about geology, and then you went into biology.
So tell me biology in which what you're talking about, because
In
I'm telling you what
terms, when you said Japanese, you said
Chinese and Koreans. And Koreans.
And then you brought out a totally different situation.
I said that I said what they said was that modern, meaning new, modern Native Americans resemble the three Asian groups you just said. It says, but the first, listen, it says, but the first Americans resemble Africans, Australians, and South Pacific Islanders.
That's what
where did them people go?
Bro, why you gotta get all loud and animated? We have
my bad. Okay, my bad. You're right. I'm just saying. Yo, you already know how
you're
this is
about what you're talking about, but whatever you got me already classified as, I'm not that. You have to also be able to understand my premise in order to bring a claim to me.
Okay.
So if what you're talking about biologically, we're talking about ethnicity. When you study biology, phenotype is less than 1% of a determinative of ethnicity. Just because of the way a nose is shaped or an eyes, or the way that eyes are displaced, is not enough to attach them to an ethnic group. Now, possibly a nationality, you can associate them with a nationality, but to an ethnic group, you can't classify that, because Japanese, the root word of Japanese is the Yapon and the Shi people. Those people are the tribes that were then romanticized or named by the governments in power.
We're not talking. Okay, I understand you want to show how intelligent you is, and I'm impressed. I mean, look, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Listen, my brother, I'm impressed. We know that they the sheep people.
Bro. See, you're not staying on the topic, bro.
No, because the topic is this. You're going all into all the other. We understand that. Can't no DNA test tell you no ethnicity or race. It's only going to tell you genetic. Listen, we are all made up from genetics. The reason you got dark skin, the reason you got brown eyes, the reason you got black hair. So the DNA test is what pulls that up and put them certain features what's common in certain areas. Now, all this other stuff you're saying, I mean, let's be for real. I'm a scientist too. I'm a nutritionist. So listen, understand this. Understand what I'm saying.
You're a nutritionist?
Yes, I am.
Then
so
you would
my thing is
intelligence. You said I'm trying to show intelligence.
No, I made choice. What I'm saying is you losing us with the. I just told
if you're a nutritionist,
you're too smart though.
You understand hemoglobin, you understand amino acids, and you damn sure know that your epidermis skin as a nutritionist got nothing to do with what you attest to as a race or an ethnic base. If you're a nutritionist,
genes,
you know that amino acids are the building blocks of what your genetic makeup.
Yes, I know. Yes, but when I'm saying
this, nutritionists that don't believe in genetics.
Because I was taught by the same people. Look, I've been taught by the same people.
We don't believe in DNA genealogical testing as being as accurate as you saying. So let me ask you a question. Wait. Is DNA testing? Is genealogical DNA testing? Is that a factual science, brother?
Say that again.
Is genealogical DNA testing is a factual science, brother?
Of course it is. Overwhelmingly.
Okay, so where do you get that information from? Because anybody else that's leading in that field say has probabilities. That means
of course, it's supposed to be probability. You're not going to give 100% infallible claim to anything scientific.
So what's the percentage that you get? What's the percentage of
percentage? I don't know what percentage. I know when it's tested repeatedly over a period of time, it is shown to be consistent. I don't know anything about percentages.
So
that's statistics.
Okay,
that's a totally different science.
What is your point? What you trying to prove? Because we already proved that it been Negro people been. Because all right, let's look at it like this.
Well, maybe I don't know what group of peers you proved it to. All I'm saying, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I brought it to the table. I can tell you why I brought it to the table, because I just wanted to know. I didn't want to ask a question and people think I'm being biased or trying to tear anything down. No, I asked the question because I'm a researcher. I'm a peripheral researcher and primary investigator.
Okay.
So I wanted to know, because of the government that we're in, and they were colonizers, and they created words that they used to name us.
Mm-hmm. Just
I
like all
wanted
the
to know
words
what
in the DNA, all them words when you do DNA, all the words when you do DNA was created by them. So everything was created by them. So we can't even have a conversation without using nothing that they created. I'm just saying, how are we going to have a conversation without using any word that they created?
I don't have a problem with that. I'm comfortable with that. I never said we can't use the words they're created. I mean,
well, what is all I just want to know is this? All I want to know out of you. I ain't got no beef with you. I respect you and everything. I don't have no beef with you. I just want to say this. This is all I have. What is your point? What is your point? Are you telling us that we're African, or are you telling us that we're Aboriginal? Because I just told you, if they brought 380,000 people over, according to them, slavevoid.org and whatever you want to say, okay? But I have an archaeologist and an anthropologist that said it was over 112 million people here. And in the area where we at, he claims that it was 35 million people in this area. So if we can even say, so now we narrow it down using common sense. We could use common sense, or we can do research and try to come as close as we can to create a theory. But what I'm saying is common sense. Okay, let's common sense.
What is common sense?
Common sense is knowing that they put 380,000 Africans here. Okay, now if they telling you that the people,
what common sense is, because you got to be specific.
Common means something that we all have together. Sense mean, I guess.
You want me to share my screen and show you what common sense means?
Ay, man, I mean, come on, bro.
Like, yeah, no, show your screen though. Show your screen though, but one though,
because semantics is prevalent, man.
You know that the science of DNA genealogical testing is not exact science. Consu, you know exactly that the DNA genealogical testing is not an exact science. You know that. You know that they can't use it in the court of law.
Tell me what I know. I answered the question. Now, are you saying I'm lying?
Well, maybe you don't. Okay, well, maybe you don't. Well, maybe you don't know.
Are you saying that I'm lying?
Yeah.
No. I said you didn't know. I maybe you don't know. So
maybe I don't. Maybe I don't.
Okay, maybe it's our duty to explain it to you. Okay, do you agree? Do you agree that it was black people here prior to Cristobal Colon them come here? Yes or no?
Can I answer? Can I address the first question?
No, that's all we want to know. We just want to know: do you believe it was people here pre-Columbia?
Autonomous one. Are you going to allow me to complete a complete statement, or are you going to filibuster and play games?
Go ahead.
Which one are you going to do?
Go ahead. You want me to read it for you?
When you asked me what my intent was, this was what my intent was: is to understand the ancient etymology of specific people that are called indigenous and aboriginal. That's what I wanted to know. It wasn't about what exists and what don't exist. I don't play I'm in Raw Squad. That's not me. I'm not here for that.
But you know we've been stripped of our
development.
But you know we've been. I know. I understand that.
Scholars, if we're scholars, then we toil and we try to come and learn knowledge.
Okay, well, we got to get to a consensus, though. We got to get to a consensus, though. Is there a consensus that it was black tribes here first before the white people came in? That's right. Tribe. Is that a consensus?
If we're using the term black tribes, people that look like us, copper colored skin, then we talking genetics. If we talk,
no, we're
not hinging on the color.
That's confusing because you're confused. You're confused with genetics. We're not talking genetics. No. We're not talking genetics. We're talking just base.
So how did you get your skin color? How you get your
No. Listen, bro. That's not the question we're asking. The question is, was it black tribes here before you see the mulatto tribes that you have here now, brother?
But okay, I'm trying to answer these questions in the order that I received them. When I asked the question as to what was common sense, you asked me to share the screen, Chief. You did.
That's not important. That's not important.
Okay.
What's important is the most important thing is, do you believe? Because understand this: everybody that's on Africa, everybody that's on the continent of Africa, do not have all the same genetic structure. Understand that. So even all of us right here on, listen. All of us right here on the panel, we all might be considered colored, black, or African American, but we all have different genetic similarities, as well as you know what I'm saying, as other things that go along with that. So what you just said was, so if a black person is not a black person, according, so if you see an obvious looking black person, you don't know what that is. So you're saying you can't tell whether a person is black or not.
I'm totally confused with what you just said.
Okay, all right. I mean, listen.
I don't understand.
Our whole argument is it was already black people or people who we assumed or who look like black people or look like people that's on the continent of Africa who you guys say you look like. So you guys say you look like people over there, but we found people here who look just like us.
Along with the here's the thing though. We got the bones. Hold on, I'm tired of this, man. Listen, brother. We have the bones to prove who we are here on this land. We have the oldest bones, and we have the bones that go up to here modern times that link us genetically to this land. Period. Now, here's the thing. They're saying now. Here's the thing. You're wrong because you brought up the Korean people and the Asian people and stuff.
I didn't bring that up.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Okay, but are the Asian people here that make up the Native Americans? Are Korean people native to this land, brother? Are Asian people native to this land?
No.
Okay, so that's all we saying, bro. We know that Asian people, Siberian people, everybody was black first.
Okay.
They got changed here recently. They wasn't.
I don't agree with that.
Do you believe that some mixed people walked across the Bering Strait?
You got some bones in your possession. You said you got bones. Show me bones that you got in your possession. You said you.
Well, that's
we have the bones.
That's crazy, bro. Like we do this all the time. You don't see Uzi Anaya. You don't see.
He talking about that you got at your house. You got bones. Did you?
You just said what you just said. I'm not.
I got my ancestors' bones here. I got the ancestors' bones here.
So you have evidence. So what you're saying is, hold on. What you're saying is you have primary evidence of the historiological account.
We showed the depictions of it. Would you say that paintings inside the pyramids here in America depicting us? Would that be it? With the mummies, with the dreads? Would that be it? What else? What else do we need to prove that we was here already?
I don't have a problem.
We have the architecture. We have the agriculture.
I don't think you're listening to me. If you're gonna,
I am listening. No, I asked you to prove. I asked you to prove how you're African. You can't. You can't prove it with you.
Give me the ancient word beyond American. I still ain't get my question answered.
We gave you ancient words. Xi.
One brother said
that was the name of some of the people that was here.
One brother said Hiawatha, and I shared the screen. He called it Hawatha, which was incorrect. I showed him Hiawatha.
You said autonomy.
No,
it's autonomy.
I didn't say any of that. I shared my screen and nobody acknowledged.
Say autonomous then. Say autonomous then.
Why do I have to say that? It's a synonym.
Okay, but that's my point though. So you're up here, you're missing words. But here's the part though. Here's the part. So you came on here to talk about something that is irrelevant, whether or not we Aboriginal is not right. The etymology, that's what you said, right? So let's get back to that. We just saying the first inhabitant. We're saying the tension is that we sprung from this land, brother. So we need to get you right. We need to get you straight. We saying that we sprung up from this land like the oak tree, brother. Like the grizzly bear, like the cougar, like the jaguar. We sprung from this land as a different different master species than any other race of people. We are the master race of motherfucking people. Period. We are superior than any other race of people on this motherfucking planet. How about that?
Who's arguing? I never did. I say we weren't. So what are you telling me that for? When did you hear me say we weren't?
Well, it's just like, we failing to look at the evidence of how supposedly Africans got here, and it's the slave trade story, the transatlantic. And when you look at documented records, it was white Africans by mass numbers coming over here. So if you want to connect yourself to a white African heritage or a Dutch heritage or whatever it may be that was coming over here that was not our people, right? By at least description. Right, then you can tie yourself that, because we know long before Christopher Columbus here, there was millions of people here, and the more you work your way south, the more you find. They just found the city called El Mador, small city that had over 2 million people there. There's over 1,000 pyramids there, so it had to take work and it took science to build that. And I don't think it was Africans that was doing that. Matter of fact, I know it wasn't Africans.
So what I'm saying, you made another statement, and see this is what. You said that white Africans that were Dutch came over here. So where in Africa did these white Africans that were Dutch reside?
All over Africa.
That's right.
All over.
So the Afrikaan, to my knowledge, the Afrikaan, they wandered and then they settled. So where did they settle?
The Afrikaners.
The ones in South America. The ones
No,
in
not
South
the Afrikaners. I said the Afrikaan.
The Afrikaan.
The local people called them Afrikaan for a reason.
Okay, that's the one that eventually became the Afrikaners.
Or the Afrikaners, which is conquerors of Africa. Or
Okay, so those people that you're talking about, are you alluding? Because I don't know. I'm asking for clarity. Are you talking about the tribe of white people that settled in South Africa today?
Well,
ultimately settled in South Africa today.
Not only there, right?
I'm not saying not only. I said ultimately settled. Did you hear me ask you, as they were known?
Also the people that settled in Northern Africa, you know, what you might refer to as Europe. They also occupied that space. And obviously, it's what we've seen being established over here in America. They also established this place. So, yeah, I'm telling you that it was white Afrikaners coming on these boats or these records of the transatlantic slave trade. The slave voyages where a lot of your people that's pushing this African movement go to get their information from. And all it's giving you is numbers. It's up to you to do the research on who these people was.
And I don't have no problem with that. See, I never discredited anyone using their own methodology. But we're both using the scientific method to discover these things. So we're just toiling over opinions based on the sources that we produce. One person says I has bones. One person says I got this data. Another person says I have this data. So we have to source that data and cross-reference it to even come to an assumption of its validity. We can't prove anything 100%, but we can say, well, based on history, based on the fact that the school of universal knowledge, which we've adopted to under Herodotus, this is how we assimilate information. Because we've been romanticized. We know this.
You're right. But for a large percent, we can definitely prove that it was melanated or so-called Black Americans here before Christopher Columbus.
So all I'm saying is, and I said this earlier, the term conflation, as long as we don't say 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other, and I'm going to use confirmation bias to substantiate what I believe in, and then eat the meat and spit out the bones. I'm only going to use what substantiates my argument. If you're going to use the scientific method and scholarly methods to prove your point, if you're not going to show tribal methodology, if you're not going to go to your ancient tribes and show what they did to prove themselves, what they did on how they lived, but you're going to use Roman and European classifications to determine who you are, then you have to own up to the fact that that's the scientific method.
Right.
There are rules to that. There are rules when you use the scientific method.
You're right, and there's several different ways of using scientific method. But if you want to get into how we are without even using any of the so-called European scientific method, we can get into culture, right?
That's what I just said, brother.
I understand that. And language.
Don't you know when I asked the first question? When I asked the first question, that was why I was being respectful and continue to be.
I don't think I heard that.
Ancient terminology, because I didn't want to get into the American term. That's a dialect created by colonizers. Give me the ancient terminology, the ancient culture, the ancient ways that we operated here aboriginally.
Well,
don't pull up an article about somebody's bones when
that's the thing.
Dug those bones up. I don't want to have nothing to do with that.
Look at so-called Black American culture, you can see things that conspired thousands of years ago on this land. For instance, does ancient basketball go back to Africa?
Real stuff. I just posted a link in the back chat, y'all.
Does cellular stonework go back to Africa? Yeah. Does agriculture and irrigation go back to Africa?
Yes.
No, it doesn't. It was more
just the Songhai Empire alone shows that. The Songhai Empire shows that alone.
The San people, the mound builders, the original mound builders who were found in Africa don't have African DNA.
Just show me.
But I just posted a link in the back chat to a website.
You say it's the link. I don't have connection.
Well, in the back chat. So if you guys want to pull that website up and go through it on the live stream, feel free to. That's Chief Langley, and they said that they were not conquered. They never left. They didn't go to Oklahoma, and there's a lot of information on that site.
Does anybody understand the term? I don't want to be disrespectful. Does anybody understand the term pedagogy? The term pedagogy is the syllabus, the way that things are taught and learned. So I'm asking for the ancient pedagogy and culture of the indigenous Aboriginal people to gain understanding. I'm not going to maintain ignorance. If I'm a scholar and a researcher, I want to be taught.
Yeah, that's why I'm telling y'all to pull up that website, because there's information on there that can help you.
So what I'm saying is, Brother Ken, if you tell me that I got some bones, I got evidence of some bones. First off, if we understand indigenous, let me make my quick point, brother, sir. If we have indigenous cultural practice, we do not disrupt the grave sites of our ancestors. We don't disrupt the grave sites of our ancestors. So who took upon themselves to dig those bones up? Who else would do it but the Europeans?
The unrighteous ones, the invaders, they did, brother.
Then. So if you're using that as a means of evidence, nothing wrong with that. Now I'm asking you to show me the peoples and how we buried and operated and did our things and spoke our language in our culture. Show that to me. Okay. Well, if you have enough records to show that you're comfortable being who you are, then you should have the records.
So let me ask you a question. Do you know the answer to the question that you answered right now, brother?
Say that again. Do I have to say that?
Consul, do you know the answer? Do you know the answer to the question that you're answering, brother?
No, I don't.
Okay. So when we're telling you we're speaking the language, we understand we're speaking our language right now. So we can understand this language. What we're saying is that any culture, singing, writing, mathematics, science came from us, brother. Not from Africa, not from Greece. Okay. Language came from here, brother. Okay. That's what we're saying. We fed the rest of the world with, and we medicated the rest of the world.
If you're telling me that the American language was ancient and inducive to the ancient people, that's false. You asked me a question.
If we look up the origins of modern American English right now, right? We know that he wasn't speaking English when they came here. Hold on, they wasn't speaking English from England when they came here. It was developed here. See how that work? Latin, everything comes from here. Language, math, science
Latin Vulgate
comes from America. Sanskrit, everything comes from America first. That's what we're saying. That's what we're saying. Everything comes from America first, bro.
You got to prove that, and that means that
Okay, well, listen. Guess what? What's your proof that you're African? What is your proof that you're African?
I said it earlier. My genetics.
No, that's not proof. We already said that the genealogy DNA testing is fake. It's flawed. You said that.
Who said? I didn't say DNA was flawed.
You can't use that in the court of law. You can't use DNA genealogy testing in the court of law, brother. They haven't. No,
they use paternal testing to determine who the father is. What are you talking about?
No. That's not the same test. That's not the same test. That's not the same test.
That ain't no race and
not the same test.
Wow, man. That's
you almost got to.
You know what?
Okay, but listen, you're a smart guy, right?
Can I get in there?
You not got that one
Holiday, can I get in here?
You know that the Y chromosome is a sex.
Steve Holiday, can I get in here?
Nah, that's you can't get in. Get your ass out of here.
The Y chromosome testing is a sex gene. What do you mean it's not? It's not the same,
bro. Listen, you can't test ethnicity or race, man. That's what we. That's what
Holiday. Can I get in here?
That's it. That's all. You can't prove none of that. Only thing you gonna prove is
genetic.
Can
I get in here?
Hold on. I don't want to mute your mic. Hold on.
Mute his mic.
I don't want to mute him, but be quiet.
Mute his mic,
man. We're gonna be gentlemen over here, man.
Cool his ass off, man. We don't need to be talking to nobody named Jesus. Come on, man.
Here we go.
Yeah, but nonetheless,
Well,
though.
then
But look,
run like you always do. Run from
never
Jesus,
ran, never
nigga.
ran, bro, never
Because you
ran.
ain't gonna debate me.
Oh, okay,
Never
okay.
ran. It's nothing to debate. You ain't got nothing to talk about. But nonetheless, so let me just make that. I'm about to pick my
Man,
daughter.
y'all
I just
treat
want
the
to say this
brother
one
bogus,
last thing.
man.
I
Y'all
just want to
treat
say
the
this
brother
one
bogus.
last thing before I leave. Now listen, Consul, I just told you if they bought 380,000 so-called Africans here of different tribes, right? Okay, we clear on that. Now understand, they brought them to the eastern seaboard, what we call Terra Nova, and we only talk about North America. We're not talking about the rest of the diaspora, what y'all think. We're talking about right here in North America. So if I'm telling you that the number exceeded it was way more than 380,000 so-called black Indians here. So what I'm telling you is this: you will be more Aborigine than any Indian. I mean, any African. So understand that.
Could you? I need you to.
I'm gonna tell you to look up the anthropologist where I got this from. His name is Henry Dobbins.
Something. What is Terra Nova? I'm not familiar with that.
Terra Nova is the eastern seaboard of the America, what we call the Atlantic, the southeast, northeast, the eastern seaboard. That's called Terra Nova. So what I'm saying to you is this, brother: they bought over 380,000 Africans, and we can prove that them numbers are off. But what I'm telling you is, if it was, let's say it was 10 million so-called black Indians here, and them 380,000 so-called Africans assimilated into that whole culture, that would not make you no fucking African, bro. And that's exactly what happened, according to my research. That's because and even when you talk to, and I'm gonna leave you with this, man. Even when you talk, exactly. So even when you talk to the Amara squad, we already proved that the pyramids in Peru are older than the pyramids in Egypt. We already proved this stuff, and it's factual. We already proved they done found bodies over here. Listen. They done found bodies over here that predates millions of years from anthropologists, man. So what are y'all talking about? I mean, and I know y'all don't accept forbidden archaeology, but you ain't got no choice but to accept it. Because he's an anthropologist and archaeologist, and you cannot discredit him. So if he's telling you they found things 300 million years old in California, Illinois, as well in Mexico, you have to take some consideration into that. So what Chief telling you with the languages, yo, you guys are way off, bro. The cradle of life is here.
I don't know about all of that. If you telling me,
you need to look it up. You need to look it up.
Are you the leading expert on this? Do you have?
I'm not a leading expert, but I got common sense, bro. Like I said, I use common sense when you do this research. Just like with everything.
When I ask you to disambiguate common sense, you say it don't matter.
Man, we're gonna use it from a street.
Because you evidently don't have common sense, dude.
Common sense
cool. Breaking it down to you. If you don't know what common sense is, I mean, come on, man.
Constantly be worried about the wrong things too much sometimes, man. Like, but you know because you know what the bro mean, and we want to get into the common sense definition. We ain't here to deal with that. We know about. You know what I'm saying? That's all. No. I'm not. No.
You telling me if I don't understand a word, and I'm asking to clear this word up, you communicating with me, and I want to be understood. I want to understand. That because I'm critical of what you're saying to me, and I want to be able to understand you clearly, that I'm focusing on the wrong thing. But
no, Consul, no, Consul, but you just like to. I ain't even want to try to judge, but you like to just micro out.
Nah, what he doing is,
you know what I'm saying?
He reaching for reach, guys.
Yeah. This type of reach more.
You trying to get us to prove stuff that is basically being proven as we do our research.
Okay. But I do know some people though.
The languages is been so many languages, man. So how you gonna say that a word don't represent a word, or you don't mean by using Google, dude?
What you just said is the most genuine statement I've heard since I come on here. I respect you for what you just said. You just said that how can we say something if it's ongoing research? I respect that. Don't tell me something is established because you use common sense. Tell me it's ongoing and you're discovering it and you're coming to understand it. Now I can respect that. I respect that.
We gotta give you where we at.
You the first person. You the first person that said it.
So how you know you African?
All this time I've been talking, ain't nobody.
Australian though. You might be from Australia. How you know you're African?
I know for a fact this ain't this, and I know for a fact this ain't that.
You just said you know for a fact you're African.
I got the evidence. Well, I got to use scientific methodology to validate your evidence. If you bring evidence in court, we got to see if the evidence is valid.
Indeed. Indeed.
You can't show me something and say, see, because I found it.
Indeed.
Because I'm showing this to you, it's got to be true. No, it don't.
So with all the anthropology and all of the other evidence that been found here, it shows that it was already people that we can clearly see that these people was Negroes, whether they was in the West Indies, whether they was in Brazil, whether they was in Peru, whether they was in the Yucatan of Mexico, whether they was in anywhere in South America, from Canada all the way through Illinois, through Louisiana, all the way back through the back. Listen, it wasn't nothing but Negroes here. So for you to say you to not understand that the so-called Africans, if they brought 380 people here mixed in with the black Indians, that's period. So, and you can say here, you can use the word, oh, the Indians or Tanchans or Aborigines, whatever. Whatever. You're using the word native. I don't use the word native. We're using the word Tanchans. Black Tanchans that been here forever. None of these people ever traveled from Africa over here like the Olmecs, because civilization in Peru is older than the Olmec civilization. And I constantly hear people say,
okay,
the Olmec civilization.
Where did you learn the definition of the word Tanchan? Where did you learn?
I learned it from a white. I learned it from a cracker. Just like I learned everything. Reality. Everything in my whole reality was learned by Europeans, bro.
Okay,
my whole reality, everything. I was learned from Europeans, just like yours.
So I'm asking you this because of the simple fact that you assimilated this and you understand it. But that doesn't mean it's the definite article. It just means this is the way you come to understand it. So when you're saying that the Atanchans, you use the term Atanchans, that's what you relate to. Indeed. But if you're using the white man's terminology for understanding, then you have to use the white man's grammar.
I don't know no other way.
Tanchan is a synonym of indigenous and aboriginal.
I don't know no other way to put it, my brother. We don't speak no other language to communicate in. The Tanchans mean one sprung. Okay, the ones that sprung from this soil, not the ones that traveled and migrated from other countries. We're talking about the copper color people that sprung from this soil. We ain't got to use the word Tanchan. Okay, we ain't got to use the word soil. We ain't got to use the word sprung. The people who came from the dirt or whatever the fuck word you wanna describe this as. These are the people we're talking about. That the so-called Africans came here and assimilated with them, because out of every 10 slaves, 9 of them was Aborigines.
I see. So you said copper colored. Why?
I mean, listen, African, even the terms that you're using was even constructed. So even within the grammar that you're using, same.
I totally agree. I don't disagree that they were.
So for the lack of argument and without the semantic shenanigans, we should be able to come with some kind of, understanding of what we're talking about. We're having to go into details of what we're talking about, right? Because it's kind of misleading. So that's what I.
Well, see, and this is my thing, bro. And I'm, all I look at is learning. I'm trying to learn. So just because it ain't about being part of the get along game, just because I'm not going to agree with you on everything, you're not going to agree with me on everything.
Absolutely.
So if we can maintain our sanity and maintain our tempers and not let ego get in the way, then we can learn from each other. So when I ask a question, see, this is let me clear this up too. I'm part of a group called Team Osiris, and I'm also my own person. I don't play the conscious community games. I don't even like the conscious community. I don't believe in all that bullshit Roman ass scholarship shit. I don't believe in that. I don't have any value for that because we still oppressed. So I don't have any hidden agenda to out-boule you. I'm not into all that. Well, the book said this and the book said that. But if you're using the same methodology, then there are rules to the methodology that you use.
Yeah, you're right. And,
So
and,
I'm
and
not into. I'm not.
for the lack
I
of,
didn't come here for that.
yeah, okay, understand. And for the lack of argument, like we can work off of, some agreements. Like you already acknowledged that you do have an Aboriginal ancestry, correct?
Of
Then
course. Of course.
okay. So with that alone, right? We can work on that. Let's start building on what your Aborigine ancestors.
I've already done that. I'm already comfortable and clear with that.
So you was familiar with the city of El Mador in Guatemala?
Yes, I'm be with all of that. I have a Cherokee Choctaw ancestry in my bloodline. I don't have any problem with that. But I also have a Nigerian Congo bloodline.
Well, and that's for you. That might not go for everybody.
The misnomer is that we are a minority. The misnomer is that this skin that we have is a minority and is only isolated to one landmass. If we're the Aboriginal human, then we gave birth to all humans on the planet. We were the original black man. We are the original human. So we are responsible for the population of all humans on the planet. How in the hell am I going to disregard 13 million square miles of people with copper skin over there too? Then that's illogical.
Well,
if we were Aboriginal here, then we gave birth to the people over there too.
Facts.
So I'm gonna say, you know what? Even though you dark skinned, even though you got the same nose and eyes, I'm not going to associate with you because you didn't start here.
What you said, I can get with what you said because that's exactly what we're trying to say. We gave birth to that over there, so we trying to get our shit together here.
Okay, let me ask you a question. If we gave birth
so
I'm not arguing who gave birth to what. I'm not arguing who gave birth to what. Those kind of arguments, I leave that for a person who's real good at it, and that's Saneter. His platform is designed for that. You can go over there and talk about that. I don't care which came first, chicken or the egg, because I live in 2018. That shit ain't gonna apply to now anyway.
Yeah. So
what I'm talking about is if we are gonna talk historically, then we're using history. So that means history is a science, bro. It's a science from the universal knowledge system. And that system, it was fathered by Herodotus.
No.
If we agreeing that we speak in American and all this shit.
Wait a minute. So you see, this is what I'm saying. You believe the way they believe. See, you see what I'm saying? You believe that Herodotus is the father of history. You said him twice.
He's the father of their history. He's a father of their methodology.
Okay, we're not talking about Herodotus. He's an imposter. We're saying that information came from America, brother. That's what we're saying. It didn't come from Africa.
It came from America. Once again, Chief. If it came from America, Chief, then I need to see. You need to show me the ancient cultural process.
Look,
I think
y'all are not grasping what Constant's saying. You see what I'm saying? I would just sit back listening, and I think y'all are not grasping what he's saying. What he's saying is, he's saying two things at once. If you can't make a claim. You don't even have to make a claim if you could just. All you gotta do is substantiate your premise. So if you say everything came from over here, and over here gave rise to over there, now the burden of proof is on you to prove that based upon the scientific method. Once you make these claims, they sound good in theory, but you have got to substantiate that shit with hardcore evidence. Example, I can show you through the evolution of the Canaanite writing system that led to the Hebrew writing system, that led to Aramaic, that led to Phoenician, that led to Greek, that led to Latin, that led to, I can show you that. But if you make the claim that the language started over here, now you're gonna have to be able to show me that same process over here that happened that I can show you over there. See, when you make these, this is why I backed off of this Aboriginal shit. Because motherfuckers be making a bunch of fucking claims that I know motherfuckers can't substantiate. You see what I'm saying? And it sound good, but he asked some simple questions that motherfuckers could not answer. Like, what is the language? You say that I am fucking Mohawk Indian, right? But you can't tell me nothing about the Mohawk Indians. You can't tell me the language, the food, the dietary practices. You can't even tell me did they practice matriarchy or patriarchy, or was they patrilineal or matrilineal? Because you get people on, you get people on platforms saying all indigenous was matrilineal. Wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, check this out. Check this out.
Hey, Chief. Hey, Chief, I ain't even come on here to talk shit about no Aboriginal. I'm talking about the language. The language, like you always saying, the great Aboriginals say, is in 1929. In 1829 was the first time that the English language was here. So before 1829, to the mighty Aboriginals, it was Aboriginal Latin to this land. Before 1829, there was no language in this land. It was called Latin, and it's Aboriginal to this land with the language that all people talk today in Latin America. It's Aboriginal to this land. It's the Aboriginal language to this land.
Brother, that's why I mentioned Herodotus. I'm right there with you. This is why I mentioned Herodotus, because the romanticizing, Romans took it upon themselves when they united with Greece to create definitions in a book of diction called a dictionary. They started naming things. That's why we follow canon law in America. When you go to a legal system called the courts, all the terms are Latin.
And what is from Mexico on
Latin
down?
Vulgates.
And what is Latin on down?
Latin Vulgates from the Punic people in the Punic Wars.
No, they do not come from the Punic people, brother. It comes from Latin America, brother. Nobody in Europe or nobody in Punic. Hold on, let me just say one thing,
I don't have no problem with you saying Latin America. It's still going to be the same people that populate it. So I'm not going to get
No, it is not, sir. But I'll let you talk, and then I'm just trying to say, hey, Punic people. I'm not neither, sir. I'm just trying to tell you that Punic people do not talk Latin.
I support
people in Italian don't talk Latin. People in Greek, sir, don't talk Latin. You can talk or I can talk, sir. You can talk or I can talk, sir.
They were the same people, man. You came in here just
no, they're not the same. We're totally different, sir. You can talk or I can talk, sir. You just said Punic, sir. You just said that Latin, the Latin and Greek land.
General historiological term.
No, you're not. I'm saying you're wrong, brother. We can debate that. Hold on, D. Let me. Y'all just ain't gonna cut me off just because y'all go against me now. You just can't cut me off now, D. Red. Hold on, man. Can I talk for a second? Y'all just can't cut a nigga off, man.
I agree.
I've been patient the whole time. I ain't really even been saying much.
All I'm saying is none of y'all know this information, but like me or Kansu. Can a nigga like try to teach something here about language? Even Chief Holiday, who showed us here, said that I'm on top of my game about this language.
Let dude finish his bit. Come in.
Thank you, man. Just for like 10 seconds, man. Aboriginal power, man. All I'm saying is Latin America is called Latin America. All of Latin America.
Right.
Nothing in Europe is called Latin America. Nothing. It's called Spanish American, it's called Italian American, and it's called Greek American. So the Latin language is Aboriginal to this land, the great Aboriginal Latin people. And we might have to start getting towards that because, like you said, Kansu, all of our law is in Latin. So if all of America is called Latins, and our language was made in 1829, before 1829, we was talking Latin.
That's right.
Nobody disagreed with that. I agree with you.
No, but you're trying to put African and Greek with Latin. I'm telling you that's wrong. Nothing in Africa belongs with that shit.
I got a quick question.
I'm not even getting close to that.
I got a quick question.
You said the people in Punic, brother. I'm not trying to start an argument. You said the people in Punic. I'm just going with you. Punic is in Africa, brother.
Hold on.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Drop, you know how I give it up.
Hold on. I just got to say this. First of all, do you even know who the Latins were? The Latins came after the Etruscans.
Yes.
Those people was on the goddamn island of the peninsula of Italy. They weren't nowhere over here in the goddamn Americas. And we was
hey man, hold on. You lying. You're lying. You're just a Pan-African liar, my nigga. Me and you already got in this argument. We can turn, hey man, you are a Pan-African, brother. Hey man, you just a Pan-African, man. He gonna say he ain't gonna even give a timeline. He gonna say that the whole he gonna say that some Africans talk the African Greek language, my nigga. I'm a language dog. You don't know nothing about language, D-Red. D-Red, you don't know even when the Friskins was around.
I didn't say Friskins.
Give me a time and a date, brother.
Bro,
shut
up, bro.
Yeah, shut the fuck up, nigga, because you don't know nothing. I will out-scholar you, my nigga. Don't tell me my history. You a Pan-African, my nigga. I'm over here talking to motherfucking Kansu and you gonna butt in. You know me, you don't even like each other for real. Just stay the fuck out of it, my nigga. Let me and Khonsu build.
Bro. Chief, get
That's
this
corny,
dude,
man. Y'all gonna let these Pan-Africans come over here, and then when me and Khonsu building, this nigga gonna just come cut in. I didn't cut in on any of y'all's conversation. Me and Khonsu was building for a second. And you scared, D-Red. I'll debate you, D-Red, like you ran last time. Like you ran last time, D-Red.
Bro, you are the most pseudo nigga on the internet, nigga.
Okay, then let's get into this shit. Then you
pseudo ass, nigga.
Okay, you said that Latin was in. You said Latin was in Friskin land.
I didn't say the Friskins because you talking so much you're not even listening, nigga.
That's the name of the real people. They're the Friskins, my nigga. The Italians was the Friskins, brother.
No, they weren't. They were the Etruscans, bro. They were the
Okay,
Etruscans,
what was their language?
not Friskins. Damn, bro.
Hey, Cam, what was you about to ask, man?
Yeah, man. I guess we gonna
King.
get ready to finish up the show.
Yeah, that was.
You know what I'm saying? We'll probably tune in. You know, continue this build. Maybe later on tomorrow. Maybe even later on tonight. Chief, if you want to close out with anything, peace, love, and light. Appreciate everybody coming out. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I had posted some stuff in the back chat, man. I don't know if you guys familiar with any of that. But yeah, I just had to I was gonna ask that question to Khonsu, like about you know, if Egypt is less than 3,500 years old and Watson Break in Louisiana is over 35,000 years old, how could you claim to be rooted somewhere with 35,000 years of, you know, establishment is already, you know, in place? Yeah, you know, I don't know. And then also he went into a lot of like, can you prove this and that by way of the ancients? Well, if we have living people who are still in their original Aboriginal state, that doesn't that trace back to the ancients? And there's a whole website, like I'll just put in a back chat for the family and shit like that, you know, to go through. And there's enough info on there, you know, for a console if you really earnestly want to learn. You know, he can go through. But you know, dope show though, bro. Appreciate you for having me on.
All right, yeah. Good meeting you too, Chief Holiday. I heard a lot about you. Y'all be easy, man. I'm about to finish this little slave work. Clock out this motherfucker. Probably get back on some more learning. You know, I'm nothing but a student. I like to listen to people and pick their brain. So y'all be easy, man. And thanks for letting me on the panel.
Yeah,
and thanks
appreciate
for
y'all coming out.
That's right. Thank y'all.
Yeah, man. Definitely. I don't know. Maybe we could get into something another time, like dealing with these how they hide the truth in plain sight about us being who we are. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, brother. Just anytime, brother. We can always, you know, get a good build in. You know, appreciate you coming out too. Building with
Yes,
us.
sir, man. Appreciate y'all, brothers, man.
Huey P. Nuisance.
Sorry, I had stepped away. My kids was crying, but appreciate y'all,
brother.
It was a great build, man.
Yeah, man. Jack, appreciate you also for coming out, brother. Love your energy. You always stay dropping bombs, brother. Much love to you.
Yeah, man. This just for, you know, for future people who want to join in. You know, if you haven't looked at none of the old videos or anybody else's, man, Medicine Man, Dane Calloway, Corey Mayo, Ohio, a Tonginist one. You know, look at some more old shows on Chief Holiday, Aboriginal Power. If you haven't done that, you know, there's no need of you joining in trying to question us about things that we pretty much already proven to the best of our abilities. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's for us to grow. And this is also a spiritual journey. So we got to be mindful of those who are not in line with it and let them carry on, man. Because some people still want to hold on to the spell. And it shows when you try to communicate with them. They say it's about peace and they're not disagreeing, but everything comes out negatively, you know, in a negative manner, and it only makes you, you know, rebut it in a negative manner. So we vibe, you know, y'all know how we do. We high vibes. We go off your vibe.
So if you vibing with us, we gonna vibe with you back. If you're not, you finna catch tomahawks, arrows, and everything else that you can't stand against. So I just leave it out on that, man. Shout out to the chat. Appreciate everybody on the panel, man, that came out, man. It was a good build or whatever, even though, you know, we had people, you know, it was good to hear from people that was just, you know, new to the information.
Perspective and
yeah,
their energy is much appreciated over here. We just had to tone it down. Plus, we was getting ready to wrap it up anyways. Chief, you want to go and take us out?
Yeah, man. Hey, man, thanks for all the new people that came in the chat room, man. The new panelists, man. We definitely welcome you out. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Subscribe to Jaguar Olmec. Subscribe to Aboriginal Power. Subscribe to Thompson's One. Subscribe to all the brothers that was on the panel, man. Peace and love to everybody, man. We all we got. It's Aboriginal Powers. And that's just a true thing. It's a true statement, man. Shout out to Kansu coming on. Black Jesus, man. We got to build some other time, man. Because I'm not the one to censor anybody. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like that. I feel like we have things in common. Kansu, and we have us have things in common. The Dagger Squad, we have things in common. I think we could build on those things. Wow, we could still spar on these other things, but after we debate, we say, okay, well, now that we have these things in common, we have the community's interest in common, right? We all do, if we're supposed to, right? If we're doing this work, even if you're Pan-African, we still have the best interests of the community at heart. And I think just having a conference about that is great. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to definitely invite the whole House of Consciousness out and all the squads, you know what I'm saying, to the Great American Powwow in October. So that's the thing, man, you know, so we can hash a lot of these things out face to face, you know what I'm saying? So we definitely going to invite all those brothers and sisters out for that, man. Peace and love to the family. We're going to keep this thing going, man. Y'all know what it is. The truth is in the building. Hey, Al Power, thanks, man, for having the show today, man. We definitely appreciate you. We're going to get up out of here. Peace and love.
Absolutely. You know how we going to end it. So we're going to just keep it rocking. Appreciate everybody coming out. Y'all already know what it is. Much
you know the number one mistake.
Y'all be safe while y'all make y'all daily commute. And like I said, this information is just so strong, and you know we put the fear of God in people's heart. You know, so, y'all know how it goes.
Sound like some mafia shit, Jumbo. Uncle Paul is taking nigga for his last ride. See y'all. Show that.
This is the part that gets scary. I try to talk, but these niggas ain't hear me. This is the part that gets spooky. They play that role and I'm ending the movie.
Yeah, I swear to God, I put the fear of God in these niggas. I swear to God, I put the fear of God in these niggas. I swear to God, I put the fear of God in these niggas. I swear to God, I put the fear of God in these niggas. I never go back on my promise. Yeah, one thing I don't lack, to be honest. They gon' keep popping until I pop up. Look at them acting astonished. Claiming they trapped out of Hondas. They must was living in Disneyland. I was uptown with problems. Stuck on the pole selling milligrams. They wouldn't last for a minute, man. Pulling all nighters on double shifts. Call them put 3 up on finish, man. Spikes in the day, that's a double flip. Effing and twins call them double mix. Chew through your flesh like it's double mint. Homicide asking my whereabouts. Nobody know where the fuck you went. Refuse to be tame, I'm a different beast. Trying to run straight in the dicky fleece. I'm on the road with the money yet, and I need a bean for a 50 piece. Completed the puzzle, no missing piece. I'm on a mission like God sent me. I'm on a level that can't be reached. Nigga, I speak like God.
This is the part that gets scary. I try to talk, but niggas ain't hear me. This is the part that gets spooky. They play that role and I'm ending the movie.
Yeah,
I swear to God. I put the fear of God in these niggas. I swear to God. I put the fear of God in these niggas. I swear to God. I put the fear of God in these niggas. I swear to God. I put the fear of God in these niggas. Serving who moving that white. Yeah, I done got used to this life. I done grew heartless, stuck in the darkness. I know my future is bright. I'm at the stove and I'm knee deep. Cooking your body on repeat. Rifles inside of the trap, try to run up ahead. I'ma shoot, make you retreat. Niggas is not to be trusted. Searching for info, I won't reveal it. Gripping the handle, I clutch it. Shoot him, bro, dead, and I won't conceal it. Niggas be trying to stay relevant. The game is a time for intelligence. Hustle, I do it in fashion. Trippin' designer, that's elegant. I know they gon' hate for some odd reason. I'm a pulling and blocking a Josh Demon. Give me some top from that main bitch. She gon' swallow my nut like it's God seen it. Completed the puzzle, no missing piece. I'm on a mission like God sent me. I'm on a level that can't be reached. Nigga, I speak like God in me.
I try to